Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to you, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to The Show Must Go Online. I'm Robert Myles, actor, writer, director, and creator of the Shakespeare Deck. Every week, a global cast and crew of all levels of experience donate their time and talent freely as part of an ongoing mission to create Shakespeare for everyone, for free, forever, every Wednesday night. Tonight's reading of Othello will commence in approximately 15 minutes' time. Content warnings for this show include racism, violence, domestic violence, and murder. First, a word of thanks to previous guest introducers Vanessa I. Corredera and Dr. David Sterling Brown for their help in advising us on race-conscious casting ahead of tonight's production, and for Dr. Brown's additional contributions in helping us create what we hope to be an anti-racist show with no anti-racist characters. Your contributions have been hugely appreciated. Please remember, if you're watching at home, to like this video, subscribe to the channel, remembering, of course, to hit the bell icon to receive all notifications, and remember to follow us at TSMG Online Live on Twitter or at The Show Must Go Online on Insta and Facebook. And now, to introduce tonight's play, brought to us as always by the incredible Ben Crystal, it's friend of the show from our second ever stream, Deborah Ann Bird. Deborah Ann Bird is an award-winning, classically trained actress and producer who was recently named Writer-in-Residence at the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust, Artist-in-Residence Fellow at the Folger Institute, a Community Scholar Arts Fellow at Columbia University, and Artist-in-Residence at Southwest Shakespeare, where she recently reprised the role of Othello, winning her the 2019 Broadway World Phoenix Award for Best Lead Actress. Deborah Ann Bird is the founder and producing artistic director of the Harlem Shakespeare Festival and an emerging playwright who recently completed her new solo show, Becoming Othello, A Black Girl's Journey, which she performed at the University of Warwick and the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust. Deborah, the play, of course, is Othello, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Sarah, for having me back. Thank you, Ben Crystal, for calling on me once again for this very special project. Being here with all of you today gives me great joy, and I am honored to be counted amongst the giving and kind and talented artists and producers here today. It is always a great time when we get to share our love of Shakespeare's works with each other and with the world. From my heart to yours, I say thank you, one and all. And now to the business at hand. The tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice. Who would have ever known that this play would change my life? A tragedy. A play written in 1604, whose first known performance was November 1st, 1604 in Whitehall Palace, London. That's so far from Harlem, New York City in 2020. How does a little Afro-Latino girl from Spanish Harlem find Shakespeare and Othello? I'll tell you. In an old refurbished 5-theater movie house built in 1917 called the Lowe's Victoria 5 Theater, located a few doors down from the world-famous Apollo Theater in New York's Harlem neighborhood. That's where. An unlikely place, one might think, but not so far-fetched for George Wolfe, then the artistic director of the famed Joseph Papp Public Theater. That's where Deborah Ann first met Shakespeare. It was at another old refurbished theater downtown New York City where I met Othello. Britain's beloved John Barton was filming one of his plays, playing Shakespeare sessions, and onto the stage came an Othello that blew my mind completely and broke my heart entirely. That day I fell in love with him being Othello, and I pledged to myself that I too would one day make him come alive. And I would play him with all sincerity, all nobility, honor, and dignity that I could muster. I did it. The crazy woman that I am, I did it. And my life hasn't been the same since. I'll tell you more about that another time. On to the scholar for today's Zoom performance of Othello presented by The Show Must Go Online. Like many of Shakespeare's plays, Othello provokes conversation. Conversation about lies, jealousy, injury, race, bigotry, justice, betrayal, sex, love, hate, and the unescapable but why? Why all this pain? Why would a man go through so much trouble to create so much tragedy? Turns out it's just simply performed by the king's men at the court of St. James I on the 1st of November, 1604. Written during Shakespeare's great tragic period, which also included the composition of Hamlet in 1600, King Lear 1604-05, Macbeth 1606, and Antony and Cleopatra 1606-07, Othello is set against the backdrop of the wars between Venice and Turkey that raged in the latter part of the 16th century. Venice was at war with the Ottoman Empire between 1570 and 1573, so the play's reference to the threat of an attack on Cyprus could reflect a setting sometime during this period. Cyprus, which is the setting for most of the action, was a Venetian outpost attacked by the Turks in 1570 and conquered the following year. Shakespeare's information on the Venetian-Turkish conflict probably comes from The History of the Turks by Richard Knowles, which was published in England in the autumn of 1603. The story of Othello is derived from another source, an Italian tale written in 1565 by Giovanni Battista Giraldi Cinzio, usually referred to as Cinzio. The original story contains the bare bones of Shakespeare's plot. A Moorish general is deceived by his ensign into believing his wife is unfaithful. To Cinzio's story, Shakespeare added supporting characters such as the rich dupe Roderigo and the outraged, grief-stricken Brabantio, Desdemona's father. Shakespeare compressed the action into the space of a few days and set it against the backdrop of military conflict. And most memorably, he turned the ensign, a minor villain, into an arch-villain, Iago. We know that Shakespeare liked to set his plays in exotic locations like Verona or Cyprus because he wanted to entertain and transport his audience. The island of Cyprus symbolizes Othello, vital and prone to attack. Othello was a Moor. The Moors were a Muslim people who lived in the area called Barbary, which is on the northern coast of Africa. Today, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya roughly make up the area that was Barbary. In Othello, Venice represents civilization, while Cyprus symbolizes the wilderness. The idea is that what happened in the Cyprus never would happen in a civilized Venice. And so it begins, a synopsis. Provoked by Iago, a jealous Roderigo tells Brabantio of Othello's secret affair to marriage to his daughter Desdemona. Othello is brought before the Duke, where he explains how he wooed Desdemona, and she is brought into the chamber to confirm her willingness to marry him. Othello is sent by the Duke to defend the Cyprus against the Turks. He prepares to leave, entrusting Desdemona to his ensign Iago. Iago tells Roderigo that he will obtain Desdemona for him and persuades him to come to Cyprus along with his money. Iago rests on his hatred for Othello and plots a way of destroying him. Cassio, Othello's lieutenant, arrives in Cyprus, followed by Iago, Desdemona, and Iago's wife, EMILIA. EMILIA is also Desdemona's attendant. They are all soon followed by Othello. The Turkish fleet is reported to have lost in a storm. And during the celebrations, Iago persuades a reluctant Cassio to drink, then prompts Roderigo to fight with Cassio. Cassio becomes angry and also attacks Montano, the governor of Cyprus. Othello is roused, which is a problem, and he removes Cassio from office. Iago advises Cassio to work his way back into Othello's affections by speaking to Desdemona. Cassio asks EMILIA to arrange a meeting with Desdemona, and she agrees to do what she can. Iago puts the thought of Desdemona being unfaithful into Othello's mind and hints at Cassio's role in the infidelity. EMILIA finds a handkerchief that Desdemona has dropped and passes it to Iago. Iago suggests that Desdemona has given Cassio the handkerchief. Othello asks Desdemona for the beloved trinket and is angered when she is unable to produce it. Cassio, meanwhile, has found the handkerchief in his chamber and asks his mistress, BIANCA, to have it copied. Iago arranges for Othello to overhear a conversation between himself and Cassio, joking about Cassio's mistress, BIANCA, but making the conversation appear to be about Desdemona. BIANCA appears with the handkerchief and returns it to Cassio. This enrages Othello and he slaps Desdemona, much to the dismay of his kinsman Lodovico, who has arrived from Venice with letters ordering Othello back to Venice. This makes Othello pissed. Othello questions EMILIA about Desdemona's unfaithfulness, but she denies any knowledge of it. He then accuses Desdemona to her face, leaving her distraught. And so it begins, or shall I say it ends? Who falls, who lives, and why? This is the same question I keep asking myself today. Why? Why? Why all this created pain? Why racism? Why bigotry? Why fear? Why hatred? Why fighting? Why backbiting? Whatever happened to love and forgiveness? What happens to us when we choose to believe a lie? This play begs much conversation. Our personal lives beg conversation. Talk to your friends and your family and find out what's really true. My dear friend Rob, that's all from me. I send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for that sensational introduction. What an incredible preparation for our audience as they prepare to experience William Shakespeare's Othello in just a moment's time. And now, Groundlings, the show is about to begin, so please remember to like this video if for no other reason than for Deborah's incredible introduction. Subscribe to the channel, post your reactions on social using the hashtag #ShowMustGoOnline, and engage with tonight's production of William Shakespeare's Othello.
Act 1, Scene 1, Venice, a street. Enter Roderigo and Iago.
Hush, never tell me. I take it much unkindly that thou, Iago, who hast had my purse as if the strings were thine, shouldst know of this.
Blood, but you'll not hear me. If ever I did dream of such a matter, abhor me.
Thou toldst me thou didst hold him in thy hate.
Despise me if I do not. 3 great ones of the city, in personal suit to make me his lieutenant, off caps to him. And by the faith of man, I know my price. I am worth no worse a place. But he, as loving his own pride and purposes, evades them with a bombast circumstance, horribly stuffed with epithets of war. And in conclusion, none suits my mediators, for certes, says he, I have already chose my officer. And what was he? Forsooth, a great arithmetician, one Michael Cassio, a Florentine, that never set a squadron in the field, nor the division of his battle knows more than a spinster. Mere prattle, without practice, is all his soldiership. But he, sir, had the election. And I, of whom his eyes had seen the proof, at Rhodes, at Cyprus, and on other grounds, Christian and heathen, must be belied and calmed by debitor and creditor. This countercaster, he, in good time, must his lieutenant be, and I, God bless the mark, his morship's ensign.
By heaven, I rather would have been his hangman.
Why, there's no remedy. 'Tis the curse of service.
I would not follow him then.
Oh, sir, content you. I follow him to serve my turn upon him. We cannot all be masters, nor all masters cannot be truly followed. You shall mark many a duteous and knee-crooking knave who, throwing but shows of service on their lords, do well thrive by them, and when they have lined their coats, do themselves homage. These fellows have some soul, and such a one do I profess myself. For, sir, it is as sure as you are Roderigo. Were I the more, I would not be Iago. In following him, I follow but myself. Heaven is my judge, not I for love and duty, but seeming so for my peculiar end. And when my outward action doth demonstrate the native act and figure of my heart in compliment extern, 'tis not long after, but I will wear my heart upon my sleeve for doors to peck at. I am not what I am.
Does the thick lips own if he can carry it thus?
Call up her father, rouse him, make after him, poison his delight.
What ho! Brabantio, signor! Brabantio, ho!
Awake! What ho, Brabantio! Thieves, thieves! Look to your house, your daughter and your bags! Thieves, thieves!
What is the reason of this terrible summons? What is the matter there?
Signor, is all your family within?
Are your doors locked?
Why, wherefore ask you this?
Doon, sir, you're robbed! For shame, put on your gown! Your heart is burst. You have lost half your soul. Even now, very now, a black ram is topping your white ewe. Arise, 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 I say!
What, have you lost your wits?
Most Reverend Signor, do you know my voice?
Not I. What are you?
My name is Rodrigo.
The worser welcome. I have charged thee not to haunt about my doors. In honest plainness thou hast heard me say, my daughter is not for thee. And now in madness, being full of supper and distempering draughts, upon malicious knavery dost thou come to start my quiet.
Soon, sir, you're one of those that will not serve God if the devil bid you. Because we come to do you service, and you think we are ruffians, you'll have your daughter covered with a Barbary horse. You'll have your nephews nay to you. You'll have courses for cousins, and jennets for Germans.
What profane wretch art thou?
I am one, sir, that comes to tell you your daughter and the Moor are now making the beast with two backs.
Thou art a villain.
You are a senator.
This thou shalt answer. I know thee, Roderigo.
Sir, I will answer anything, but I beseech you, if it be your pleasure and most wise consent, as partly I find it is, that your fair daughter at this odd, even and dull watch of the night, transported with no worse nor better guard, but with a knave of common hire, a gondolier, to the gross clasps of a lascivious Moor. If this be known to you and your allowance, we then have done you bold and saucy wrongs. Your daughter, if you have not given her leave, I say again, hath made a gross revolt, tying her duty, beauty, wit, and fortunes in an extravagant and wheeling stranger of here and everywhere. Straight satisfy yourself. If she be in her chamber or your house, let loose on me the justice of the state for thus deluding you.
Strike on the tinder hoe, give me a taper, call up all my people. This accident is not unlike my dream. Belief of it oppresses me already. Light, I say, light!
Farewell, for I must leave you.
What?
It seems not meet nor wholesome to my place to be produced. If I stay, I shall against the Moor. For I do know the state cannot with safety cast him, for he's embarked with such loud reason to the Cyprus wars, which even now stand in act, that for their souls, another of his fathom they have none to lead their business. In which regard, though I do hate him, as I do hell's pains, yet for necessity of present life, I must show out a flag and sign of love, which is indeed but sign. That you shall surely find him, lead to the Sagittary the raised search, and there will I be with him. So, farewell.
Sir, thy lips do move, but I do not hear thy words, good sir.
She is gone. It is too true and evil. And what's to come of my despised time is not but bitterness. Now, Roderigo, where didst thou see her? Are they married, think you?
Truly, I think they are.
Oh, heaven, how got she out? Oh, treason of the blood. Fathers, from hence trust not your daughters' minds by what you see them act. Is there not charms by which the property of youth and maidhood may be abused? Have you not read, Roderigo, of some such thing?
Yes, sir, I have indeed.
Call up my brother. Oh, would you had had her. Some one way, some another. Do you know where we may apprehend her in the moor?
I think I can discover him, if you please to get good guard and go along with me.
Pray you, lead on. At every house I'll call, I may command at most. Get weapons, ho! And raise some special officers of the night. On, good Roderigo, I will deserve your pains.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 2, Venice, another street. Enter Othello, Iago, with torches.
Though in the trade of war I have slain men, yet do I hold it very stuff of conscience to do no contrived murder. I lack iniquity sometime to do me service. 9 or 10 times I'd thought to have yerked him here under the ribs.
'Tis better as it is.
Nay, but he prated and spoke such scurvy and provoking terms against your honour. that with the little godliness I have, I did full hard forbear him. But I pray you, sir, are you fast married? Be assured of this, that this Brabantio is much beloved, and hath in his effect a voice potential as double as the Duke's. He will divorce you, or put upon you what restraint or grievance the law, with all his might to enforce it on, will give him cable.
Let him do his spite. My services, which I've done the signore, shall out-tongue his complaints. 'Tis yet to know, which, when I know that boasting is an honour I shall promulgate, I fetch my life, and being from men of royal siege, and my demerits may speak unbonneted to as proud a fortunate as this that I have reached. For know, Iago, that I love the gentle Desdemona. I would not to my unhoused free condition put into circumscription and confined for the sea's worth. But look, what lights come yond?
Oh, those are the razed father and his friends. You were best go in.
No, not I. I must be found. My parts, my title, and my perfect soul shall manifest me rightly. Is it they?
By Janus, I think no.
Ah, the servants of the Duke and my lieutenant. The goodness of the knight upon you, friends. What is the news?
The Duke does greet you, General, and he requires your haste post-haste appearance, even on the instant.
What is the matter, think you?
Something from Cyprus, as I may divine. It is a business of some heat.
'Tis well I am found by you.
Come, Captain, will you go?
I have with you.
Here comes another troop to seek for you.
It is Brabantio, General, be advised, he comes to bad intent.
Holla, stand there.
Signor, it is the Moor.
Down with him, thief!
You, Rodrigo, come, sir, I'm for you.
Keep up your bright swords, for the Jew will rust them. Good signor, you shall more command with years than with your weapons.
O thou foul thief! Thou, where hast thou stowed my daughter? Damned as thou art, thou hast enchanted her. For I'll refer me to all things of sense, if she in chains of magic were not bound, whether a maid so tender, fair, and happy, so opposite to marriage that she shunned the wealthy curled darlings of our nation, would ever have to incur a general mock, run from her guardage to the sooty bosom of such a thing as thou, to fear, not to delight. I therefore apprehend thee, and do attach for an abuser of the world, a practicer of arts inhibited and out of warrant. Lay hold upon him, and if he do resist, subdue him at his peril.
Hold your hands, both you of my inclining and the rest. Were it my cue to fight, I should have known it without a prompter. Whither will you that I go to answer this your charge?
To prison till fit time of law and course of direct session, call thee to answer.
What if I do obey? How may the Duke be therewithal satisfied, whose messengers are here about my side, upon some present business of the state to bring me to him?
It is true, most worthy Signor. The Duke's in council, and your noble self, I am sure, is sent for.
How, the Duke in council is in this time of night? Bring him away. Mine's not an idle cause. The Duke himself, or any of my brothers of the state, cannot but feel this wrong as 'twere their own. For if such actions may have passage free, bond slaves and pagans shall our statesmen be.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 3, Venice, a council chamber, enter Duke and senators set at a table with lights and officers.
There's no composition in these news that gives them credit.
My letters say 107 galleys.
And mine 140.
I'm 200, but though they jump not on a just account, yet do they all confirm a Turkish fleet bearing up on Cyprus.
Nay, it is possible enough to judgment. I do not so secure me in the error, but the main article I do approve in fearful sense.
What ho, what ho, what ho!
A messenger from the galleys.
Now, what's the business?
The Turkish preparation makes for Rhodes.
Nay, in all confidence, he's not for Rhodes.
Here's more news.
The Ottomites, reverend and gracious, steering with due course towards the Isle of Rhodes, have there enjointed with them an after fleet.
So I thought. How many, as you guess?
Of 30 sail, and now they do restem their backwards course, bearing with frank appearance their purposes towards Cyprus. Signor Montano, your trusty and most valiant servitor, with his free duty, recommends you thus and prays you to believe him.
'Tis certain then, for Cyprus.
Here comes Brabantio and the valiant Moor.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. I did not see you. Welcome, gentle signor. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours. Good your grace pardon me. Neither my place, nor aught I heard of business hath raised me from my bed. Nor doth the general care take hold on me, for my particular grief is of so floodgate and o'erbearing nature that it engluts and swallows other sorrows, and it is still itself.
Why? What's the matter?
My daughter, oh, my daughter.
Dead?
Aye. To me, she is abused, stolen from me, and corrupted by spells and medicines bought of mountebanks. For nature so preposterously to err, being not deficient, blind, or lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not.
Whoever he be that in this foul proceeding hath thus beguiled you, your daughter of herself, and you of her, the bloody book of law, you shall yourself read in the bitter letter after your own sense. Yea, though our proper son stood in your action.
Humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man, this Moor, whom now it seems your special mandate for the state affairs hath hither brought.
We are very sorry
for it.
What in your own part can you say to this?
Nothing but this is so.
Most potent, grave, and reverend signors, my very noble and approved good masters, that I have ta'en away this old man's daughter. It is most true. True, I have married her. The very head and front of my offending hath this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrases of peace, for since these arms of mine had 7 years' pith, till now 9 moons wasted, they have used their dearest action in the tented field, and little of this great world I can speak, more than pertains to feats of broils and battles, and therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will around unvarnished tale deliver of my whole course of love. What drugs, what charms, what conjuration, and what mighty magic, for such proceeding I am charged withal, I won his daughter.
A maiden never bold, of spirit so still and quiet, that her motion blushed at herself. And she, in spite of nature, of years, of country, credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on? It is a judgment maimed and most imperfect, that will confess perfection so could err against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell, why this should be. I therefore vouch again, that with some mixtures powerful o'er the blood, or with some dram conjured to this effect, he wrought upon her.
To vouch this is no proof, without more wider and more overt test than these thin habits and poor likelihoods of modern seeming do prefer against him.
But Othello, speak. Did you by indirect and forced courses subdue this and poison this young maid's affections? Or came it by request, and such fair question as soul to soul affordeth?
I do beseech you, send for the lady to the Sagittary, and let her speak of me before her father. If you do find me foul in her report, the trust, the office I do hold of you, not only take away, but let your sentence even fall upon my life.
Fetch Desdemona, hither.
Ensign, conduct them, you best know the place. Until she come, as truly as to heaven, I do confess the vices of my blood. So justly to your grave ears that I present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she in mine.
Say it, Othello.
Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life from year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes that I have passed. I ran it through, even from my boyish days to that very moment that he bade me to tell it, wherein I spoke of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood, and field, of hairbreadth escapes in the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery, of my redemption thence, importance in my travels history, wherein of Anta's vast and deserts idle, rough quarries, rocks and hills whose heads touch heaven, it was my hint to speak, such was my process, and of the cannibals that each other eat, the anthropophagi and men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders, this to hear would Desdemona seriously incline. But still the house affairs would draw her thence, whichever as she could with haste dispatch, she'd come again, and with greedy ear devour up my discourse, which I observing, took once a platon hour, and found good means to draw from her a prayer of earnest heart, that I would all my pilgrimage dilate, whereof by parcels she had something heard, but not intentively. I did consent, and often did beguile her of her tears, when I did speak of some disastrous stroke that my youth suffered. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore in faith 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me, and bade me, if I had a friend that loved her, I should but teach him how to tell my story, and that would woo her. Upon this hint I spake. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady, let her witness it.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio, take up this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather use than their bare hands.
I pray you hear her speak. Come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you, I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the Lord of Duty. I am hitherto your daughter. But here's my husband. And so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess due to the Moor, my lord.
God be with you. I have done. Please it your grace, on to the state affairs. I had rather to adopt a child than get it. Come hither, Moor. I here do give thee that with all my heart, which but thou hast already, with all my heart I would keep from thee. For your sake, Jewel, I am glad at soul I have no other child, for thy escape would teach me tyranny to hang clogs on them. I have done, my lord.
The robbed that smiles steals something from the thief. He robs himself that spends a bootless grief.
So let the Turk of Cyprus us beguile, we lose it not so long as we can smile. I humbly beseech you, proceed to the affairs of state.
The Turk with a most mighty preparation makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you. And though we have there a substitute of most allowed sufficiency, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore be content to slubber the gloss of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition.
The tyrant custom, most grave senators, hath made the flinty and steel couch of war my thrice-driven bed of down. I do agonize a natural and prompt alacrity I find in hardness, and do undertake these present wars against the Ottomites. Most humbly, therefore, bending to your state, I crave fit disposition for my wife as levels with her breeding.
If you please, be it at her father's.
I will not have it so.
Nor I.
Nor I. I would not there reside to put my father in impatient thoughts by being in his eye. Most gracious Duke, To my unfolding lend your prosperous ear, and let me find a charter in your voice to assist my simpleness.
What would you do, Desdemona?
That I did love the Moor to live with him. My downright violence and storm of fortunes may trumpet to the world. My heart subdued even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his honours and his valiant parts did I my soul and fortunes consecrate. So that, dear lords, if I be left behind a moth of peace, and he go to the war, the rights for which I love him are bereft me, and I a heavy interim shall support by his dear absence. Let me go with him.
Let her have your voice. Vouch with me, heaven, I therefore beg it not to please the palate of my appetite, but to be free and bounteous to her mind. And heaven, defend your good souls that you think I will your business scant, for she is with me. When feather Cupid seal with wanton dullness my speculative and officed instruments that my disports corrupt and taint my business, let housewives make a skillet of my helm.
Be it as you shall privately determine, either for her stay or going, the affair cries haste, and speed must answer it.
You must away tonight.
Tonight, my lord.
This night.
With all my heart.
At 9 in the morning, here we'll meet again. Othello, leave some officer behind, and he shall our commission bring to you, and such things else of quality and respect as doth import you.
So please your grace, my ensign, a man, he is of honesty and trust. To his conveyance I assign my wife, with what else needful your good grace shall think to be sent after me.
Let it be so. Good night to everyone. And noble signor, if virtue no delighted beauty lack, your son-in-law is far more fair than black.
Adieu, brave Moor. Use Desdemona well.
Look to her, Moor, if thou hast eyes to see. She has deceived her father, and may thee.
My life upon her faith! Honest Iago, my Desdemona must I leave to thee. I prithee, let thy wife attend on her, and bring them after in the best advantage. Come, Desdemona, I have but an hour of love of worldly matter and direction to spend with thee. We must obey the time.
Iago.
What sayest thou, noble heart?
What will I do, thinkest thou?
Why, go to bed and sleep?
I will incontinently drown myself.
If thou dost, I shall never love thee after. Why, thou silly gentleman?
It is silliness to live when to live is torment. And then have we a prescription to die when death is our physician?
Oh, villainous! I have looked upon the world for 4 times 7 years, and ere I would say I would drown myself for the love of a guinea hen, I would change my humanity with a baboon.
Well, what should I do? I confess it is my shame to be so fond, but it's not in my virtue to amend it.
Virtue? A fig! 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Come, be a man. Drown thyself. Drown cats and blind puppies. Put money in thy purse. Follow thou these wars. Defeat thy favour with a usurped beard. I say, put money in thy purse. It cannot be long that Desdemona should continue her love to the Moor. Put money in thy purse, nor he his to her. It was a violent commencement, it her, and thou shalt see an answerable sequestration. Put but money in thy purse. These Moors are changeable in their wills. Fill thy purse with money. When she is sated with his body, she will find the error of her choice. She must have change. She must. Therefore,
put money
in thy purse. A pox of drowning thyself, it is clean out of the way. Seek thou rather to be hanged encompassing thy joy than to be drowned and go without her.
Wilt thou be fast to my hopes if I depend on the issue?
Thou art sure of me. Go, make money. I have told thee often, and I retell thee again and again, I hate the Moor. My cause is hearted. Thine hath no less reason. Let us be conjunctive in our revenge against him. If thou canst cuckold him, thou doest thyself a pleasure, and me a sport. There are many events in the womb of time which will be delivered. Traverse, go, provide thy money. We will have more of this tomorrow. Adieu.
Where shall we meet in the morning?
At my lodging. Go to, farewell. Do you hear, Rodrigo? Put money enough in thy purse?
I'll sell all my land.
Thus do I ever make my fool my purse. For I mine own gained knowledge should profane if I would time expend with such a snipe, but for my sport and profit. I hate the Moor, and it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets he's done my office. I know not if it be true, but I, for mere suspicion in that kind, will do as if a surety. He holds me well. The better shall my purpose work on him. Cassio's a proper man. Let me see now. To get his place and to plume up my will in double knavery, how? How? Let's see. After some time, to abuse Othello's ear that he is too familiar with his wife. He hath a person and a smooth disposed to be suspected, framed to make women false. The Moor is of a free and open nature, that thinks men honest that but seem to be so, and will as tenderly be led by the nose as asses are. I have it. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light.
Exit. Act 2, Scene 1, a seaport in Cyprus. Enter Montano and a gentleman.
What from the Cape can you discern at sea?
Nothing at all. It is high rout flood. I cannot twixt the heaven from and the main descry a sail.
A fuller blast ne'er shook our battlements. What ribs of oak when mountains melt on them can hold the mortise? What shall we hear of this?
A segregation of the Turkish fleet, for do but now stand upon the foaming shore. The chidden billow seems to pelt the clouds. I never did like the molestation view of the chafed flood.
If that the Turkish fleet be not unsheltered and embayed, they are drowned. It is impossible to bear it out.
News, lads! News, lads! Our wars are done. The desperate tempest hath so banged the Turks that their designment halts. A noble ship of Venice hath seen grievous wreck and sufferance on most part of their fleet.
How? Is this true?
The ship is here put in. A Veronese, Michael Cassio, lieutenant to the warlike Moor Othello, is come on shore. The Moor himself at sea and is in full commission here for Cyprus.
I am glad on't. 'Tis a worthy governor.
But the same Cassio, though he speak of comfort touching the Turkish loss, yet he looks sadly and prays the Moor be safe. They were parted with foul and violent tempest.
Pray heaven he be. For I have served him, and the man commands like a full soldier. Let's to the seaside, ho! As well to see the vessel that's come in as to throw out our eyes for brave Othello.
Thank you, the valiant of this warlike isle that so approved the Moor. Oh, let the heavens give him a defense against the elements, for I have lost him on a dangerous sea.
Is he well shipped?
His bark is stoutly timbered, and his pilot a very expert and approved allowance. Therefore my hopes stand in Baltio.
A sail! A sail! A sail!
What noise?
On the brow of the sea stand ranks of people, and they cry, "A sail!"
My hopes do shape him for the governor.
They do discharge their shot of courtesy. Our friends, at least.
I pray you, sir, go forth and give us truth. Who 'tis that is arrived?
I shall.
But, good lieutenant, is your general wived?
Most fortunately, he had achieved and made That paragon's description and wild fame. How now? Who has put in?
'Tis Iago, ensign to the general.
Has had the most favorable and happy speed. Tempests themselves high seas and howling winds, the gutted rocks and congregated sands, traitors and steep to unclog the guiltless keel, as having sense of do omit the immortal natures letting go safely by the divine Desdemona.
What is she?
She that I speak of, our great captain's captain, left in the conduct of the bold Iago, whose footing here anticipates our thoughts at some night speed. Great Jove, Othello God, and swell his sail with thine own powerful breath, that he may bless this bay with his stoltion, make love's quick pants in Desdemona's arms, give renewed fire to our extincted spirits, and bring all Cyprus comfort. Oh, behold, the richest of the ship is come on shore. You men of Cyprus, let her have your knees. Hail to thee, lady, and the grace of heaven before, behind thee, and on every hand in wheel thee round.
I thank you, valiant Cassio. What tidings can you tell me of my lord?
Not yet arrived. No, I know I ought, but that is well, and will be short to you.
Oh, but I fear. How lost you company?
The great contention of the sea and sky spotted our fellowship.
A sail! A sail!
But hark! A sail!
They give their greetings to the citadel. This is a likewise friend.
Thee for the news, good ensign, you are welcome. Welcome, mistress. Let it not go your patience, good Iago, that I extend my manners. This my breeding, that gives me this full show of courtesy.
Sir, would she give you so much of her lips as of her tongue she oft bestows on me, you would have enough.
Alas, she has no speech.
In faith, too much. I find it still when I have list to sleep. Marry, before your ladyship, I grant she puts her tongue a little in her heart, and chides with thinking.
You have little cause to say so.
Come on, come on. You are pictures out of doors, bells in your parlours, wild cats in your kitchens, saints in your injuries, devils being offended, players in your housewifery, and housewives in your beds.
Oh, fire upon thee, slanderer!
Nay, it is true, or else I am a Turk. You rise to play and go to bed to work.
You shall not write my praise.
No, let me not.
What wert thou write of me if thou shouldst praise me?
Oh, gentle lady, do not put me to it, for I am nothing if not critical.
How say you, Cassio? Is he not a most profane and liberal counsellor?
You speak so, madam. You may relish him more in the soldier than in the scholar.
He takes her by the palm. Aye, well said, whisper. With as little a web as this will I ensnare as great a fly as Cassio. Aye, smile upon her, do. The more, I know his trumpet.
It's truly so!
Let's meet him and receive him.
Lo, where he comes!
Oh, my fair warrior!
My dear Othello!
Oh, it gives me wonder great as my content to see you here before me. Oh, my soul's joy! It's after every tempest comes such calms, then let the labouring bark climb hills of seas Olympus high. Ah, if it were now to die, 'twere now to be most happy, for I fear my soul hath her content so absolute that not another comfort like to this succeeds in unknown fate.
The heavens forbid, but that our loves and comforts should increase even as our days do grow.
Amen to that, sweet powers. I cannot speak enough of this content. It stops me here. It is too much joy. And this, the greatest discords be that e'er our hearts shall make.
Oh, you are well tuned now. But I'll set down the pegs that make this music, as honest as I am.
Ah, come, let us to the castle. News, friends, our wars are done.
Ha!
Are drowned.
Yeah!
How does my old acquaintance of this isle? Honey, you shall be well desired in Cyprus. I have found great love amongst them. Come, Desdemona, once more we'll meet at Cyprus.
Come hither, Roderigo. If thou beest valiant, list me. The lieutenant tonight watches on the court of guard. First, I must tell thee this. Desdemona is directly in love with him.
With him? Right, it's not possible.
Lay the finger thus, and let thy soul be instructed. Mark me with what violence she first loved the more, but for bragging and telling her fantastical lies. To love him still for prating, let not thy discreet heart think it. Her eye must be fed, and what delight shall she have to look on the devil? Her very nature will instruct her in it and compel her to some second choice. Now, sir, this granted, who stands so eminent in the degree of this fortune as Cassio does? A knave, very voluble, a slippery and subtle knave, a finder out of occasion. Besides, the knave is handsome, young, and hath all those requisites in him that folly and green minds look after. A pestilent, complete knave, and the woman hath found him already.
I cannot believe that in her. She's full of most blessed condition.
Blessed fig's end. The wine she drinks is made of grapes. If she had been blessed, she would never have loved them more. Didst thou not see her paddle with the palm of his hand?
Yes, that I did, but that was but courtesy.
Lechery by this hand. An index and obscure prologue to the history of lust and foul thoughts. They met so near with their lips that their breaths embraced together. But sir, be you ruled by me. I have brought you from Venice. Watch you tonight for the command. I'll lay it upon you. Cassio knows you not. I'll not be far from you. Do you find some occasion to anger Cassio?
Oh, well...
Sir, he's rash and very sudden in choler, and haply may strike at you, provoke him that he may. But even out of that, will I cause these of Cyprus to mutiny, whose qualification shall come into no true taste again, but by the displanting of Cassio. So shall you have a shorter journey to your desires?
I will do this, if you can bring it to any opportunity.
I warrant thee. Meet me by and by at the citadel. Farewell.
Adieu.
That Cassio loves her, I do well believe it. That she loves him, 'tis apt and of great credit. The more, howbeit that I enjoy him not, is of a constant, loving, noble nature, and I dare think he'll prove to Desdemona a most dear husband. Now, I do love her too. Not out of absolute lust, though peradventure I stand accountant for as great a sin, but partly led to diet my revenge. For that I do suspect the lusty Moor hath leapt into my seat, the thought whereof doth like a poisonous mineral gnaw my innards, and nothing can or shall content my soul till I am evened with him, wife for wife. Or failing so, yet that I put the Moor at least into a jealousy so strong, the judgment cannot cure. Which thing to do, if this poor trash of Venice, whom I trash for his quick hunting, stand the putting on, I'll have our Michael Cassio on the hip, abuse him to the Moor in the rank garb, for I fear Cassio with my nightcap too, make the Moor thank me, love me, and reward me for making him egregiously an ass, and practicing upon his peace and quiet, even to madness. 'Tis here, but yet confused. Knavery's plain face is never seen till used.
Exit. Act 2, Scene 2, Cyprus, a street. Enter Othello's herald with a proclamation, people following.
It is Othello's pleasure, our noble and valiant general, that upon certain tidings now arrived, importing the mere perdition of the Turkish fleet. Every man put himself into triumph. Some to dance, some to make bonfires. Each man to what sport and revels his addiction leads him. For besides these beneficial news, it is the celebration of his nuptial. All offices are open, and there is full liberty of feasting from the present hour of 5 until the bell have tolled 11. Heaven bless the island Cyprus and our noble General Othello. Othello! Othello!
Othello!
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 3, Cyprus, a castle hall. Enter Othello, Desdemona, Cassio.
Good Michael, look you to the guard tonight. Let's teach ourselves that honourable stop, not to outsport discretion.
Iago hath direction what to do, but notwithstanding, with my personal eye will I look to it.
Iago is most honest. Michael, good night. Tomorrow, with your earliest, let me have speech with you. Come, my dear love. The purchase made, the fruits are to ensue. The profits yet to come between me and you. Good night.
Welcome, Iago. We must do the watch.
Not this hour, Lieutenant. 'Tis not yet 10 of the clock. Our general cast us thus early for the love of his Desdemona, who let us not therefore blame. He hath not yet made wanton the night with her, and she is sport for Jove.
She's the most exquisite lady.
And I'll warrant her, full of game.
Indeed, she's a most fresh and delicate creature.
What an eye she has. Methinks it sounds a parley to provocation.
An inviting eye, yet methinks right modest.
And when she speaks, is it not an alarum to love?
It is indeed perfection.
Well, happiness to their sheets. Come, Lieutenant, I have a stoup of wine, and here without are a pair of Cyprus gallants that would fain have a measure to the health of Black Othello.
Tonight, good Iago. I have very poor and unhappy brains for drinking. I could well wish courtesy would invent some other custom of entertainment.
Oh, they are our friends. But 1 cup. I'll drink for you.
I have drank but 1 cup tonight, and that was craftily qualified too. And behold, what innovation it makes here. I am unfortunate in the infirmity, and dare not task my weakness with any more.
What, man? 'Tis a night of revels. The gallants desire it.
Where are they?
Here at the door. I pray you call them in.
I'll do it, but it dislikes me.
If I can fasten but 1 cup upon him, with that which he hath drunk tonight already, he'll be as full of quarrel and offence as my young mistress' dog. Now, my sick fool Roderigo, whom love hath turned almost wrong side out, to Desdemona hath tonight caroused potations pottle deep, and he's to watch. Two else of Cyprus, noble swelling spirits, have I tonight flustered with flowing cups, and they watch too. Now, mongst this flock of drunkards, am I to put our Cassio in some action that may offend the isle? But here they come.
Very good already.
Good faithful little one, not past a pint as I am a soldier.
Some wine, ho! And let me the cannikin clink, clink, and let me the cannikin clink. A soldier's a man, man's life's but a span. And then let a soldier drink some wine, boys! Hey, hey!
For God, an excellent song.
Oh, I learned it in England, where they indeed are most potent in potting. Your Dane, your German, and your swag-bellied Hollander, drink ho, are nothing to your English.
Hey!
Well, he drinks you. With facility, your Dane dread drunk. He sweats not to o'erthrow your Almain. He gives your Hollander a vomit, ere the next pottle can be filled.
Oh, to the health of our general.
Hey!
I am for it, Lieutenant, and I'll do you justice.
Oh, sweet England! King Stephen was an unworthy peer. His breeches cost him but a crown. He held them 6pence all too dear. With that he called the tailor lown. He was a wight of high renown, and thou but art of low degree. 'Tis pride that pulls the country down, 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 down. Hey, then take the old cloak about thee. Some wine, ho!
Oh my God! This is more a song than the other.
Will you hear it again?
No, for I hold him to be unworthy of his place that does those things. Well, God's above and all, and these souls must be saved, and these souls must not be saved.
It's true, good lieutenant.
For mine own part, no offense to the general or any man of quality, I hope to be saved.
And so do I, Lieutenant.
Aye, but by your leave, not before me. The lieutenant is to be saved before the ensign.
Oh.
Let's have no more of this. Let's to our affairs. God forgive us our sins. Gentlemen, let's look to our business, and do not think, gentlemen, I'm drunk. This is my ensign, this is my right hand, and this is my left hand. I am not drunk now. Well enough, and I speak well enough.
Excellent
Well.
Why, very well then. You must not think then that I'm drunk.
To the platform, masters. Let's set the watch.
You see this fellow that is gone before. He's a soldier fit to stand by Caesar and give direction, but do but see his vice. 'Tis to his virtue a just equinox. The one is as long as the other. 'Tis pity of him. I fear the trust Othello puts him in, on some odd time of his infirmity, will shake this island.
But is he often thus?
'Tis evermore the prologue to his sleep. He'll watch the horologe a double set if drink rock not his cradle.
It were well the general were put in mind of it. Perhaps he sees it not, or his good nature prizes the virtue that appears in Cassio, and looks not on his evils. Is not this true?
Oh no, Roderigo! I pray you, after the lieutenant, go.
And 'tis great pity that the noble Moor should hazard such a place as his own second with one of an ingraft infirmity. It were an honest action to say so to the Moor.
Oh, not I, for this fair island. I do love Cassio well, and would do much to cure him of this evil.
Oh, help! Help!
Hark, what noise?
Oh.
Deuce, you rogue, you rascal!
What's the matter, Lieutenant?
A knave, teach me my duty. I'll beat the knave into a twig and bottle.
Beat me!
Dost thou preach, rogue?
Nay, good lieutenant, I pray you, sir, hold your hand.
Let me go, sir, or I'll knock you over the mazzard.
Come, you're drunk.
Drunk?
Away, I say! Go out and cry a mutiny. Nay, good lieutenant! God's will, gentlemen! Help, masters! Oh, here's a goodly watch indeed. Who is that rings the bell? Diabolo, ho! The town will rise! Oh, God's will, lieutenant! Hold! You will be shamed forever!
What's the matter here?
Oh! Zoons, I bleed still!
Oh, hold for your lives!
Hold! The general speaks to you! Hold for shame!
Why? How now, ho? From whence ariseth this? Are we turned Turks, then do ourselves do that which heaven hath forbid the Ottomites for Christian shame? Put by this barbarous, silence that dreadful bell! Frights the owls from her propriety. What is the matter, masters? Honest, Iago, that looks dead with grieving. Speak, who began this? On thy love, I charge thee.
I do not know. Friends all, and then but now, as if some planet had unwitted men, swords out and tilting one at other's breast in opposition bloody. I cannot speak any beginning to this peevish odds, and would in action glorious I had lost these legs that brought me to a part of it.
How comes it, Michael, you are thus forgot?
I pray you pardon me. I cannot speak.
Worthy Montano, what's the matter that you unlace your reputation thus and spend your rich opinion for the name of a night brawler Give me answer to it.
Worthy Othello, I am hurt to danger. Your officer Iago can inform you, while I spare speech which something now offends me, of all that I do know, or know I ought by me that said or done amiss this night.
Oh, my blood begins my safer guise to rule and passion, having my best judgment colleague essays to lead the way. Zoons! If I stir, or do but lift this arm, the best of you shall sink in my rebuke. Give me to know how this foul rout began, who set it on, and he that is approved in this offence, though he had twins with me at birth, both shall lose me. What, in a town of war, yet wild, the people's hearts brimful of fear, to manage private and domestic quarrel? 'Tis monstrous. Iago, who began it?
If partially affined or leagued in office, thou dost deliver more or less the truth, thou art no soldier.
Touch me not so near. I had rather have this tongue cut from my mouth than it should do offence to Michael Cassio. Yet I persuade myself, to speak the truth shall nothing wrong him. Thus it is, General. Montano and myself being in speech, there comes a fellow crying out for help, and Cassio following him with determined swords to execute upon him. Sir, this gentleman steps into Cassio and entreats his pause. Myself, the crying fellow, did pursue, lest by his clamour, as so it fell out, the town might fall in fright. He, swift of foot, outran my purpose, and I returned the rather for that I heard the clink and fall of swords, and Cassio, high in oath, which till tonight I ne'er might see before. When I came back, for this was brief, I found them close together at blow and thrust, even as again they were when you yourself did part them. More of this matter cannot I report. But men are men. The best sometimes forget, though Cassio did some little wrong to him, as men in rage strike those that wish them best, yet surely Cassio, I believe, received from him that fled some strange indignity which patience could not pass.
I know, Iago, thy honesty and love doth mince this matter, making it light to Cassio. Cassio, I love thee, but never more be officer of mine. Look, if my gentle love be not raised up, I'll make an example of thee.
What is the matter, dear?
All's well now, sweeting. Come, away to bed. Sir, for your hurts myself will be your surgeon. Lead him off. Iago, look with care about the town and silence those whom this vile brawl distracted. Come, Desdemona, 'tis soldiers' life to have their balmy slumbers wait with strife.
What? Are you hurt, Lieutenant?
Aye. Past all surgery.
Marry, God forbid.
Reputation. Reputation. Oh, I have lost my reputation. I have lost the immortal part of myself, and what remains is bestial. My reputation, Iago, my reputation.
As I am an honest man, I thought you had received some bodily wound. You have lost no reputation at all, unless you repute yourself such a loser. What, man? There are more ways to recover the general again. You are but now cast in his mood. Sue to him again, and he's yours.
Drunk, and sweet parrot, squabble and swagger, swear, discourse, fustian, and with one's own shadow. Oh, thou invisible spirit of wine, if thou hast no name to be known by, let us call thee devil.
What was he that followed with your sword? What had he done to you?
I know not.
It's possible.
I remember a mass of things, but nothing distinctly. A quarrel, but nothing wherefore. Oh, God! The men should put an enemy in their mouths to steal away their brains. That we should enjoy blessings, revel and applause, transform ourselves into beasts.
You or any man living may be drunk at a time, man. I tell you what you shall do. Our general's wife is now the general. Confess yourself freely to her. Importune her to help put you in your place again. She is of so free, so kind, so apt, so blessed a disposition. She holds it a vice in her goodness not to do more than she has requested. This broken joint between you and her husband entreat her to splinter, and my fortunes against any lay worth naming. This crack of your love shall grow stronger than it was before.
You advise me well.
I protest in the sincerity of love and honest kindness.
I think it freely. At bedtimes in the morning, I will beseech the virtuous Desdemona to undertake me. I am desperate for my fortunes if they check me here.
You are in the right. Good night, Lieutenant. Oh, I must to the watch.
Good night, honest Iago.
And what's he then that says I played the villain? When this advice is free I give, and honest, probable to thinking, and indeed the course to win the more again. For 'tis most easy the inclining Desdemona to subdue in any honest suit. She's framed as fruitful as the free elements. And then for her to win the more, were it to renounce his baptism, his soul is so infettered to her love, that she may make, unmake, do what she list, even as her appetite shall play the god with his weak function. How am I then a villain to counsel Cassio to this parallel course directly to his good? Divinity of hell! When devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly shows, as I do now. For whiles this honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortune, and she for him pleads strongly to the more, I'll pour this pestilence into his ear, that she repeals him for her body's lust. And by how much he strives to do him good, she shall undo her credit with the more. So will I turn her virtue into pitch, and out of her own goodness make the net that shall enmesh them all. How now, Roderigo?
My money is almost spent. I have been tonight exceedingly well cudgelled, and I think the issue will be I shall have so much experience for my pains, and so with no money at all, and a little more wit, return again to Venice.
How poor are they that have not patience? What wounds did ever heal but by degrees? Thou knowest we work by wit and not by witchcraft, and wit depends on dilatory time. Dost not go well? Cassio hath beaten thee, and thou by that small hurt hath cashiered Cassio. Content thyself a while, by the mass 'tis morning. Pleasure and action make the hours seem short. Retire thee, go where thou art billeted. Away, I say, thou shalt no more hereafter, nay, get thee gone. 2 things are to be done. My wife must move for Cassio to her mistress. I'll set her on. Myself a while to draw the more apart and bring him jump where he may Cassio find, soliciting his wife. Aye, that's the way. Dull not device by coldness and delay.
Exit. Act 3, Scene 1, Cyprus, before the castle. Enter Cassio and Clown.
Dost thou hear, mine honest friend?
No, I hear you not, honest friend. I hear you.
Prithee, keep up thy quillets. There's a poor piece of gold for thee. If the gentlewoman that attends the general wife be stirring, tell her there's one Cassio entreats her little favour of speech. Wilt thou do this?
She is stirring, sir. If she will stir hither, I shall seem to notify unto her.
Do good, my friend. In happy time, Iago.
Have you not been abed then?
Why, no. The day had broke before we parted. I have made bold, Iago, to send in to your wife. My suit to her is that we and she will to virtuous Desdemona procure me some access.
I'll send her to you presently. And I'll devise a mean to draw the more out of the way, that your converse and business may be more free.
I humbly thank you for it.
I never knew a Florentine more kind and honest.
Good morrow, good lieutenant. I am sorry for your displeasure, but all shall be well. The general and his wife are talking of it. And she speaks for you stoutly, the more replies, that he you hurt is of great fame in Cyprus, and great affinity, and that in wholesome wisdom he might not but refuse you, but he protests he loves you, and needs no other suitor but his likings to take the safest occasion by the front to bring you in again.
Yet I beseech you, if you think fit, oh, that it may be done, give me advantage of some brief discourse with Desdemona alone.
If you come in, I will bestow you where you shall have time to speak your bosom freely.
I am much bound to you.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 2. Cyprus, a room in the castle. Enter Othello, Iago, and gentlemen.
These letters give Iago to the pilot, and by him do my duties to the Senate. That done, I will be walking the works. Repair there to me.
I will do it, my lord.
This fortification, gentlemen, shall we see it?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 3, Cyprus, the garden of the castle. Enter Desdemona, Cassio, and Emilia.
Be thou assured, good Cassio, I will do all my abilities in thy behalf.
Good madam, do. I warrant it grieves my husband, as if the cause were his.
Oh, it's an honest fellow. Do not doubt Cassio, but I will have my lord and you again as friendly as you were.
Bounteous madam, whatever shall become of Michael Cassio? He's never anything but your loyal servant.
I know it. I thank you. You do love my lord. You have known him long, and be you well assured he shall in strangeness stand no farther off than in a politic distance. Before Emilia here, I give thee warrant of thy place. Assure thee, if I do vow a friendship, I'll perform it to the last article. My lord shall never rest. I'll watch him tame and talk him out of patience. His bed shall seem a school, his board a shrift. I'll intermingle everything he does with Cassio's suits. Therefore, be merry, Cassio, for thy solicitor shall rather die than give thy cause away.
Madam, here comes my lord.
Madam, I'll have to take my leave.
Why? Stay and hear me speak.
Madam, not now. I am very ill at ease, unfit for mine own purpose.
Well, do your discretion.
Ah, I like not that.
What dost thou say?
Nothing, my lord, or if... I know not what.
Was not that Cassio parted from my wife?
Cassio, my lord? No, sure, I cannot think it, that he would steal away so guilty-like, seeing your coming.
Well, I do believe 'twas he.
How now, my lord? I have been talking with a suitor here, a man that languishes in your displeasure.
Who is it you mean?
Your lieutenant, Cassio. Oh, good my lord, if I have any grace or power to move you, his present reconciliation take. For if he be not one that truly loves you, that errs in ignorance and not in cunning, I have no judgment in an honest face. I prithee call him back.
Went he hence now?
His faith so humble that he hath left part of his grief with me to suffer with him. Oh, good love, call him back.
Not now, sweet Desdemona, some other time.
But shall be shortly.
The sooner, sweet for you.
Shall be tonight at supper?
No, not tonight.
More dinner then.
I shall not dine at home. I meet the captains at the citadel.
Why then tomorrow night? Or Tuesday morning? Or Tuesday noon? Or night? On Wednesday morn? I prithee name the time, but let it not exceed 3 days. Oh, in faith, he's penitent. Tell me, Othello, I wonder in my soul what you would ask me that I should deny or stand so mammering on. What? Michael Cassio, it came a wooing with you. And so many a time when I have spoke of you dispraisingly, hath ta'en your part. To have so much to do to bring him in by a lady, I could do much.
Prithee, no more. Let him come when he will. I will deny thee nothing. Whereon I do beseech thee, grant me this, to leave me but a little to myself.
Shall I deny you? Nah, Farewell, my lord.
Farewell, my Desdemona. I'll come to thee straight.
There come. Be as your fancies teach you, whate'er you be. I am obedient.
Excellent wretch. Perdition catch my soul, but I do love thee. And when I love thee not, chaos is come again.
My noble lord.
What dost thou say, Iago?
Did Michael Cassio, when you wooed my lady, know of your love?
He did, from first to last. Why dost thou ask?
But for a satisfaction of my thought. No further harm.
Why of thy thought, Iago?
I did not think he had been acquainted with her.
Oh, yes, and went between us very oft.
Indeed?
Indeed. Aye, indeed. Discernest thou in that? Is he not honest?
Honest, my lord.
Honest, aye, honest.
My lord, for aught I know.
What does thou think?
Think, my lord.
Think, my lord. By heaven, thou echoest me, as if there were some monster in thy thought, too hideous to be shown. Thou dost mean something. I heard thee say, even now, thou likest not that when Cassio left my wife. What didst not like? And when I told thee he was of my counsel in my whole course of wooing, thou criest, indeed, and didst contract and purse thy brow together, as if then thou hadst shut up in thy brain some horrible conceits. If thou dost love me, show me thy thought.
My lord, you know I love you.
I think thou dost, and for I know thou art full of love and honesty, and thou weighest thy words before thou givest them breath. Therefore, these stops of thine fright me the more. For such in a false disloyal knave are tricks of custom, but in a man that's just, they're close dilations, working from the heart, that passion cannot rule.
For Michael Cassio, I dare be sworn I think that he is honest.
I think so too.
Men should be what they seem. Or those that be not, would they might seem none.
Certain men should be what they seem.
Why then, I think Cassio's an honest man.
Nay, there's yet more in this. I prithee speak to me as thy thinking, as thou dost ruminate and give thy worst of thoughts the worst of words.
Did my lord pardon me, utter my thoughts? Why, say they are vile and false. As where's that palace whereunto foul things sometimes intrude not? I do beseech you, though I perchance am vicious in my guess, as I confess, it is my nature's plague to spy into abuses, and oft my jealousy shapes faults that are not, that your wisdom then, from one that so imperfectly conceits, would take no notice, nor build yourself a trouble out of his scattering and unsure observance. It were not for your quiet, nor your good, nor for my manhood, honesty, and wisdom, to let you know my thoughts.
Zoons, what does that mean?
Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, is the immediate jewel of their souls. Who steals my purse, steals trash. 'Tis something, nothing. 'Twas mine, 'tis his, and has been slave to thousands. But he that filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him and makes me poor indeed.
By heaven, I'll know thy thoughts.
You cannot, if my heart were in your hand, nor shall not while 'tis in my custody. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. That cuckold lives in bliss, who, certain of his fate, loves not his wronger. But oh, what damned minutes tells he o'er, who dotes, yet doubts, suspects, yet strongly loves.
Oh, misery.
Poor and content is rich, and rich enough. But riches fineless is as poor as winter to him that ever fears he shall be poor. Good God, the souls of all my tribe defend from jealousy.
Why? Why is this? Thinkest thou I'd make a life of jealousy to follow still the changes of the moon with fresh suspicions? No, no. To be once in doubt is once to be resolved. Exchange me for a goat when I shall turn the business of my soul to such exsufflicate and blown surmises matching thy inference. 'Tis not to make me jealous to say my wife is fair, feeds well, and dances well, loves company, is free of speech, sings and plays. When virtue is, these are more virtuous. Nor from mine own weak merits will I draw the smallest fear or doubt of her revolt, for she had eyes and chose me. No, no, Iago, I'll see before I doubt. When I doubt, prove. And on proof, there is no more but this. Away at once with love or jealousy.
I am glad of this, for now I shall have reason to show the love and duty that I bear you with franker spirit. Therefore, as I am bound, receive it from me. I speak not yet of proof. Look to your wife. Observe her well with CASSIO. Wear your eye thus, not jealous, nor secure. I would not have your free and noble nature out of self-bounty be abused. Look to it. I know our country disposition well. In Venice, they do let God see the pranks they dare not show their husbands. Their best conscience is not to leave 't undone, but keep 't unknown.
Does thou say so?
He did deceive her father, marrying you. And when she seemed to shake and fear your looks, she loved them most.
And so she did.
Why go to then? She that so young could give out such a seeming to seal her father's eyes up close as oak. He thought 'twas witchcraft, but I am much to blame. I humbly do beseech you of your pardon for too much loving you.
I am bound to thee forever.
I see this hath a little dashed your spirits.
Not a jot, not a jot.
Faith, I fear it has. I hope you will consider what is spoke comes from my love. But I do see you are moved. I am to pray you not to strain my speech to grosser issues, nor to larger reach than to suspicion.
I will not.
Cassio's my worthy friend. My lord, I see you are moved.
No, not much moved. I do not think, but Desdemona's honest.
Long live she so. And long live
yet,
you to think so.
How nature erring from itself.
Aye, there's the point. As, to be bold with you, not to affect many proposed matches of her own clime, complexion, and degree, whereto we see in all things nature tends. Foe, one may smell in such a will most rank. Foul disproportions, thoughts unnatural. But pardon me, I do not in position distinctly speak of her, though I may fear her will, recoiling to her better judgment, may fall to match you with her country forms, and happily repent.
Farewell, farewell. If thou more dost perceive, let me no more. Set on thy wife to observe. Leave me, Iago.
My lord, I take my leave.
Why did I marry? This honest creature doubtless sees and knows more, much more than he unfolds.
My lord, I would I might entreat your honour to scan this thing no farther. Leave it to time. Although 'tis fit that Cassio have his place, for sure he fills it up with great ability, yet, if you please to hold him off a while, you shall by that perceive him and his means. Note if your lady strain his entertainment with any strong or vehement importunity. Much will be seen in that. In the meantime, let me be thought too busy in my fears, and hold her free. I do beseech your honour.
Fear not my government.
I once more take my leave.
This fellow's of exceeding honesty, and knows all qualities with the learned spirit of human dealings. Happily, for I am black and she's gone. I am abused, and my relief must be to loathe her. Oh, curse of marriage, that we can call these delicate creatures ours and not their appetites. I had rather be a toad and live upon the vapor of a dungeon than keep a corner in the thing I love for other uses. Yet, 'tis the plague of great ones. Prerogatived are they less than the base. 'Tis destiny unshunnable like death. Even then, this forked plague is fated to us when we do quicken. Look where she comes. If she be false, oh, then heaven mocks itself. I'll not believe it.
How now, my dear Othello? Your dinner and the generous islanders by you invited to attend your presence.
I am to blame.
You speak so faintly. Are you not well?
I have a pain upon my forehead. Here.
Oh, Faith, that's with watching. Oh, twirl away again. Let me but bind it hard. Within this hour, it will be well.
Your napkin is too little.
Ah!
Let it alone. Come, I'll go in with you.
I am very sorry that you are not well.
I'm glad I found this napkin. This was her first remembrance from the moor. My wayward husband hath 100 times wooed me to steal it, but she so loves the token. For he conjured her that she should ever keep it, that she reserves it evermore about her, to kiss and talk to. I'll have the work ta'en out, and give to Iago. What he will do with it, heaven knows, not I. I nothing but to please his fantasy.
How now? What do you here alone?
Do not you chide, I have a thing for you.
You have a thing for me? It is a common thing. To have a foolish wife.
Oh, is that all? What will you give me now for that same handkerchief?
What handkerchief?
What handkerchief? Why, that the Moor first gave to Desdemona, which so often you did bid me steal.
Hast stolen it from her?
No, faith, she let it drop by negligence, and to the advantage I being here, took it up. Look, here 'tis.
A good wench. Give it me.
What will you do with it, that you have been so earnest to have me filch it?
Why, what's that to you?
If it not be for some purpose of import, give to me again. Poor lady, she'll run mad when she shall lack it.
Be not you know not. I have a use for it. Go. Leave me. I will in Cassio's lodging lose this napkin, and let him find it. Trifles light as air are to the jealous confirmation strong as proofs of holy writ. This may do something. The Moor already changes with my poison. Dangerous conceits are in their nature's poisons, which at the first are scarce found to distaste, but with a little act upon the blood, burn like the mines of sulphur. Oh, I did say so. Look where he comes. Nor poppy nor mandragora, nor all the drowsy syrups of the world shall ever medicine thee to that sweet sleep which thou owedst yesterday.
Ha! False to me!
Why, how now, General? No more
Avaunt,
of that.
Avaunt, be gone. Thou hast set me on the rack. I swear 'tis better much abused than but to know it a little.
How now, my lord?
What sense had I in her stolen hours of lust? I saw it not, thought it not. It harmed me not. I slept the next night well, fed well, was free and merry. I found not Cassio's kisses on her lips. He that is robbed, not wanting what is stolen, let him know it not. And he is not robbed at all.
I am sorry to hear this.
I had been happy if the general camp, pioneers and all, had tasted her sweet body. So I had nothing, no, now, forever. Farewell, the tranquil mind. Farewell, content. Farewell, the plum troops and the big wars that makes ambition virtue. Oh, farewell, pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. And oh, you mortal engines whose rude throats thy Jove's dread clamours counterfeit. Farewell, Othello's occupation's gone.
Is't possible, my lord?
Villain, be sure thou prove my love. Oh, be sure of it. Give me the ocular proof. Or, by the worth of man's eternal soul, thou hast been born a dog than answer to my wicked wrath.
It's come to this?
Make me to see it. Or, at least, so prove it that the probation bear no hinge nor loop to hang a tax on, or woe upon thy life.
My noble lord!
Thou dost slander her and torture me. Never pray more. Abandon all remorse on horror's head. Horrors accumulate.
Oh, monstrous world! Take note, O world, to be direct and honest is not safe. I thank you for this profit, and from hence I'll love no friend, sith love breeds such offence.
Nay, stay. Thou shouldst be honest.
I should be wise, for honesty's a fool and loves that it works for.
By the world, I think my wife be honest, and think she is not. I think that thou art just, and think thou art not. I'll have some proof. Were I satisfied?
I see, sir, you are eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. You would be satisfied, but how, my lord? Would you, the supervisor grossly gape on, behold her topped?
Oh, death and damnation, oh!
It is impossible you should see this. Were they as prime as goats, as hot as monkeys, as salt as wolves and pride, as fools as gross as ignorance made drunk? But yet I say, if imputation and strong circumstances which lead directly to the door of truth will give you satisfaction, you might have it.
Give me living reasons she's disloyal.
I do not like the office. But sith I am entered in this cause so far, pricked to it by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and being troubled with a raging tooth, I could not sleep. There are a kind of men so loose of soul that in their sleeps will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep, I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary. Let us hide our loves." Cried, "Cursed fate that gave thee to the moor."
Oh, monstrous, monstrous.
Nay, this was but his dream.
But this denoted a foregone conclusion.
'Tis a shrewd doubt, though it be but a dream. And this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate thinly.
I'll tear her all to pieces.
Nay, yet be wise, yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this, have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. 'Twas my first gift.
I know not that. But such a handkerchief, I am sure it was your wife's, did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with.
If it be that.
If it be that, or any that was hers, it speaks against her with the other proofs.
Oh, that slave had 40,000 lives, once too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now, I do see 'tis true. Look here, Iago, all my fond love thus do I blow to heaven. Ah! 'Tis gone! Arise, black vengeance from the hollow hell. Yield up, O love, thy crown and hearted throne to tyrannous hate. Swell bosom with thy fraught, for 'tis aspects of tongues.
Yet be content.
Oh, blood, blood, blood.
Patience, I say, your mind perhaps may change.
Never! My bloody thoughts with violence pace shall ne'er look back, ne'er ebb to humble love, till that a capable and wide revenge swallow them up. Now, by yond marble heaven, in due reverence of sacred vow, I here engage my words.
Do not rise yet. Witness, you ever burning lights above, witness that here Iago doth give up the execution of his wit, hands, heart, to wronged Othello's service.
I greet thy love, not with vain thanks, but with acceptance bounteous, and will upon the instance put thee to it. Within 3 days, let me hear thee say that Cassio not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis done at your request. But let her live.
Damn her! Rude minx, oh, damn her, damn her! Come with me. Go apart, I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now, thou art my lieutenant.
I am your own forever.
Exeunt.
And that, dear groundlings, is your interval. You now have 5 minutes to refresh your drinks, refresh yourselves, and prepare for the second half to begin at approximately 8:45 BST in 5 minutes' time. If you have any questions for myself or the production team, please do let us know. Otherwise, please be ready for the second half to begin in 5 minutes' time. In the meantime, if you're enjoying tonight's show, as I hope you are, and indeed I am, like and subscribe. Post your reactions using the hashtag Show Must Go Online, and tag us at TSMG Online Live on Twitter and at The Show Must Go Online on Insta and Facebook. Oh, and I've just seen my wonderful virtual background. How graphic. I have a bad habit of doing that, don't I? Never mind. If you ever needed to see my face in a toilet, the time has come. Other than that, are you enjoying the show, Sarah?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yes, it's a difficult word to sum up with this play. Yes, enjoying it, but oh, it's intense.
Oh, so intense, yeah. It's what they call a kind of boiler episode in television terms, isn't it? It's just the tension keeps cranking up and up and up. Oh, so intense, so intense. Do you have an update for us from our Patreon this week?
Yes, so I have got a couple of names to shout out.
Marvellous.
So thank you so much again to all of our ongoing supporters on Patreon. For those of you who are new to Patreon, we set up a page where you can donate and tip your actors and creative team. So everyone involved in this project does so completely voluntarily. And all donations and tips are hugely welcome. So we've got a couple of new patrons to shout out this week, and another person who has increased their monthly donation, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. So big thank you to Nate S, Catherine B, Daniel C, and Christopher G. So thank you so much to all of you. If you are new and you would like to contribute to the project, in exchange you will be given access to lots of lovely exclusive content on a weekly basis. We have things like actor vlogs, exclusive interviews, we send sneak peeks as well for the shows coming up, so there's lots of lovely stuff on there that you will get access to. So thank you so much to everyone. I will also just mention as well that we do have a Redbubble shop where you can get your official TSMGO merchandise. You can also buy some lovely prints and cards of Carly Sponzo illustrations that she does every week for our show, and they are absolutely incredible. So please head over and check those out.
Wonderful, thank you so much, Sarah. And we've got a question here from our audience. Rob, why are you in the toilet? And the answer to that is very simply that I also double as our VT person in chief, and I was screening the virtual background for CASSIO as he was relieving himself when Roderigo came in and gave him a big old shove and started the fight. So that is why I simply didn't get into the habit of turning my virtual backgrounds off in between scenes. So that is why, a little bit of behind the scenes jiggery pokery there. Wonderful.
Rob,
Sarah, do you have any questions?
Well, I was going to say, I think, Deborah Ann, are you still with us? I wonder if you wanted to hop on and share your thoughts with us, and we'll see if we've got any questions.
I hadn't seen Deborah Ann. I think she might have jumped off after she did her introduction, unfortunately, yes.
I thought she was still with us, but perhaps, maybe not, that's fine.
If you are out there, Deborah Ann, we would love to hear from you, so please do jump on if you're available. Thank you so much. Got some more questions coming in here. Go on, Sarah, did you have something?
So I've got one here, which we can probably touch on again later as well, because I'm sure it'll be interesting to get Dom's response on this. But there are multiple possible motivations for Iago's plotting. What did you discuss in rehearsal?
I think probably the thing that struck me most, because I want Dom to be able to answer this question for himself, is a little bit like the Joker in The Dark Knight when he says, do you want to know how I got these scars? He's always got a different story, and they're all equally bold and vivid and well thought out and completely different from each other, and so you never have any idea which is true and which isn't, or if any of them are true, and so it just feels to me that was Shakespeare's intention as well. You know, there's the idea that he's been passed over for promotion, there's the idea that Othello has slept with EMILIA, there's the idea that CASSIO might have slept with EMILIA that he states. There's also very simply the racism, which permeates the whole play, that can be an equally valid reason for it as well. I think it's deliberately written to not provide an easy answer on that front. Yeah, absolutely. Got a question here about Desdemona. comes across as a maiden very bold, which is a delightful way of describing it. How did this characterization develop? Again, I'd love to pass this over to the wonderful Alex after the show. But I will say that when we were casting the show and when we were reading the play, what we were most amazed by was how different Desdemona seemed on the page from versions that we'd seen on the stage. And so we really wanted to differentiate, and by doing so, do justice to a character that often feels overlooked, perhaps, is the diplomatic way of putting it.
Completely
Sarah,
agree.
do we have any more questions?
I think, let me just check, but I think that might be it for now.
Fabulous.
Yes. I
In
think
which
we
case,
might
we're
just be
actually
at
right on
time.
time. We
Yes.
are, indeed. Wonderful. All right, then. Sorry, go on, Sarah.
I was going to say just a quick reminder to everyone watching, if you could be as kind to give us a like on the video if you're enjoying the show, do comment on the video as well, and you can subscribe to the channel to get updates on the future shows coming up in the series.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sarah. And now, dear groundlings, the show is about to recommence, so please enjoy the second half of William Shakespeare's Othello.
Act 3, Scene 4, Cyprus, before the castle. Enter Desdemona, Emilia, and Clown.
Do you know, Sirrah, where Lieutenant Cassio lies?
I dare not say he lies anywhere.
Why, man?
Well, he's a soldier, and for me to say a soldier lies, disturbing.
So too, where lodges he?
To tell you where he lodges is to tell you where I lie.
Can anything be made of this?
I know not where he lodges, and for me to devise a lodging and say that he lies here or he lies there were to lie in my own throat.
Can you inquire him out and be edified by report?
Ooh, I will catechize the world for him. That is, make questions and by them answer.
Bid him come hither. Tell him I have moved my lord on his behalf and hope all will be well.
To do this is within the compass of man's wit, and therefore I will attempt the doing of it.
Where should I lose the handkerchief, Emilia?
I know not, madam.
I had rather have lost my purse full of cruzados. But my noble Moor is true of mind and made of no such baseness as jealous creatures are. It were enough to put him to ill thinking.
Is he not jealous?
Hey. I think the son where he was born drew all such humours from him.
Look where he comes.
Not leave him now till Cassio be called to him. How is't with you, my lord?
Well, my good lady, oh, hardness to dissemble. How do you, Desdemona?
Well, my
How do you?
Oh, my good lord.
Give me your hand. This hand is moist, my lady.
Oh, it hath yet felt no age, nor known no sorrow.
This argues fruitfulness, a liberal heart. Hot and moist this hand of yours requires a sequester from liberty. Fasting and prayer, much castigation, exercise devout, for here's a young and sweating devil here that commonly rebels. 'Tis a good hand, a frank one.
You may indeed say so, for 'twas the hand that gave away my heart. Come now, your promise.
What promise, Chuck?
I have sent to bid Cassio come speak with you.
I have a sultan sorry room that offends me. Lend me thy handkerchief.
Here, my lord.
That which I gave you?
I have it not about me.
Not?
No, faith, my lord.
That's a fault. That handkerchief did an Egyptian to my mother give. She was a charmer and could almost read the thoughts of people. She told her while she kept it 'twould make her amiable and subdue my father entirely to her love, but if she lost it or made a gift of it, my father's eye should hold her loathed and his spirit should hunt after new fancies. She, dying, gave it to me and bid me, when my fate would have me wived, I to give it her. I did so, and take heed on it, make it a darling like your precious eyes. To lose it or give it away was such perdition as nothing else can match.
It's possible.
'Tis true. there's magic in the web of it. A Sibyl that had numbered in the world the sun to course 200 compasses, in her prophetic fury sowed the work. The worms were hallowed that did breathe the silk, and was dyed in mummy which the skillful conserved of maidens' hearts.
It's true.
Most veritable, therefore, look to it well.
Then would to God that I had never seen.
Wherefore?
Why do you speak so startlingly and rash?
Is it lost? Is it gone? Speak, is it out of thy way?
Oh, heaven bless us.
Say you.
It is not lost, but what if it were?
How?
I say it is not lost.
Fetch it, let me see it.
Why? So I can, sir, but I will not now. This is a trick to put me from my suit. Pray you, let Cassio be received again.
Fetch me the handkerchief. My mind misgives.
Come, you'll never be a more sufficient man.
The handkerchief.
A man that all his time hath founded his good fortunes on your love, shared dangers with...
The handkerchief.
You bet you are to blame.
Zounds! Ah!
Is not this man jealous?
I never saw this before. Sure, there's some wonder in this handkerchief. I am most unhappy in the loss of it.
Tis not a year or two shows us a man. They're all but stomachs, and we all but food. They eat us hungrily, and when they are full, they belch us. Look you, Cassio, and my husband.
There is no other way. 'Tis she must do it. And lo, the happiness, go and importune her.
How now, good Cassio? What's the news with you?
Madam, my former suit, I do beseech you that by your virtuous means I may again exist and be a member of this love whom I, with all the office of my heart, entirely honor.
Thrice gentle Cassio, my advocation is not now in tune. My lord is not my lord, nor should I know him were he in favour, as in humour altered. What I can do, I will. And more I will than for myself I dare. Let that suffice you.
Is my lord angry?
He went hence but now, and certainly in strange unquietness.
Can he be angry? I have seen the cannon when it hath blown his ranks into the air, and like the devil from his very arm puffed his own brother. And can he be angry? Something of moment then. I will go meet him. There's matter in't indeed if he be angry.
I prithee do so. Something sure of state, either from Venice or some unhatched practice made demonstrable here in Cyprus to him, puddled his clear spirit. And in such cases, men's natures wrangle with inferior things, though great ones are their object. Nay, we must not think men are not gods, nor of them look for such observancy as fits the bridal. Beshrew me much, Emilia. I was unhandsome his unkindness with my soul. But now I find I had suborned the witness, and he's indicted falsely.
Pray heaven it be state matters as you think, and no conception, nor no jealous toy concerning you.
Lost the day, I never gave
But
him...
jealous souls will not be answered so. They're not ever jealous for the cause, but jealous for they are jealous. It is a monster begot upon itself, born on itself.
And keep the monster from Othello's mind.
Lady, amen.
I will go seek him. Cassio, walk here about. If I do find him fit, I'll move your suit and seek to effect it to my uttermost.
I humbly thank your ladyship.
Oh, save you, friend Cassio.
What makes you from home? How's it with you, my most fair Bianca? Faith, sweet love, I was coming to your house.
And I was coming to your house, Cassio. What? Keep a week away, 7 days and nights, 8 hours, and lovers' absent hours more tedious than the dial 8 times? Oh, weary reckoning.
Pardon me, Bianca. I have this while with leaden thoughts had been pressed, but I shall, in a more continuate time, strike off this goal of absence. Sweet Bianca, take me this work out.
Oh, Cassio, whence came this? This is some token from a newer friend. To the felt absence now I feel a cause. It's come to this. Oh, well, well.
Go to, woman. Throw your vile guesses in the devil's teeth. From whence you have them?
You are jealous now. That is from some mistress, some remembrance. No, by faith.
Why? Whose is it?
I know not neither. I found it in my chamber. I like the work well. Here, it be demanded. As like enough it will. I would have it copied. Take it and do it, and leave me for this time.
Leave you? Wherefore?
I do attend here on the general, and think it no addition nor my wish to have him see me womaned.
Why, I pray you?
Not that I love you not.
But that you do not love me. I pray you let me come along the way a little, and say if I shall see you soon, at night.
'Tis but a little way that I can bring you, for I attend here, but I'll see you soon.
'Tis very good. I must be circumstanced.
Exeunt omnes. Act 4, Scene 1, Cyprus, before the castle. Enter Othello and Iago.
Will you think so?
Think so, Iago.
What, to kiss in private?
An unauthorized kiss.
Or to be naked with a friend in bed an hour or more, not meaning any harm?
Naked in bed, Iago, and not mean harm. It is hypocrisy against the devil. They that mean virtuously and yet do so, the devil their virtue tempts, and they tempt heaven.
If they do nothing, 'tis a venial slip. But if I give my wife a handkerchief...
What then?
Why, then 'tis hers, my lord, and being hers, she may, I think, bestow it on any man.
She is protectress of her honour, too. May she give that?
Her honour is an essence that's not seen. They have it very oft that have it not. But for the handkerchief...
By heaven, I would have most gladly forgot it. Thou saidest he had my handkerchief.
Aye, what of that?
Hath he said anything?
My lord, he hath, but be you well assured no more than he'll unswear.
What hath he said?
Faith that he did... I know not what he did.
What?
Lie?
With her?
With her, on her, what you will.
Lie with her, lie on her. We say lie on her when they belie her. Lie with her. Zoons! That's wholesome. Handkerchief. Confession. Handkerchief. To confess and to be hanged for his labour. First to be hanged and then to confess. Oh, I tremble at it. Nature would not invest herself such a shadowing passion without some instruction. It is not words that shakes me thus. Noses, eyes, lips. Is it possible? Confess. Oh, devil!
Work on, my medicine. Work. What ho, my lord, I say, Othello! How now, Cassio?
What's the matter?
My lord is fallen into an epilepsy, and this is his second fit. He had one yesterday.
Rub him about the temples.
No, forbear. The lethargy must have his quiet course. If not, he foams at mouth and by breaks out a savage madness. Look, he stirs. Do you withdraw yourself a little while? He will recover straight. When he is gone, I would on great occasion speak with you. How is it, General? Have you not hurt your head?
Thou mock me.
I mock you not, by heaven. Would you would bear your fortune like a man?
The horned man is a monster and a beast.
There's many a beast then in a populous city, and many a civil monster.
Did he confess it?
Good sir, be a man. Whilst you were here, overwhelmed with your grief, Cassio came hither. I shifted him away and laid good excuses upon your ecstasy. Bade him anon return and here speak with me, the which he promised. Do but encave yourself and mark the jeers, the jibes, and notable scorns that dwell in every region of his face. For I will make him tell the tale anew. Where, how oft, how long ago, and when he hath and is again to cope your wife. I say, but mark his gesture. Will you withdraw? Now will I question Cassio of Bianca. He, when he hears of her, cannot refrain from excess of laughter. Here he comes, and he shall smile, Othello shall go mad. and his unbookish jealousy must construe poor Cassio's smiles, gestures, and light behaviours quite in the wrong. How do you now, Lieutenant?
The less that you give me the addition, whose want even kills me.
Ply Desdemona well, and you are sure on't. Now, if this suit lay in Bianca's power, how quickly should you speed?
Alas, poor caitiff.
Look how he laughs already.
I never knew a woman love man so.
Alas, poor rogue. I think he faith she loves me.
Now he denies it faintly and laughs it out.
Do you hear, Cassio?
Now he importunes him to tell it over. Go to, well said, well said.
She gives it out that you shall marry her. Do you intend it?
Do you triumph, Roman? Do you triumph?
Aye, marry her? What, a customer? Really, bear some charity to my wit. Do not think it is so unwholesome.
So, they laugh that wins.
Faith, the cry goes that you marry her.
Prithee, say's true.
I am a very villain else.
Have you scored me? Well.
This is the monkey's own giving out. She is persuaded I will marry her out of her own love and flattery, not out of my promise.
Iago beckons me. Now he begins the story.
She was here, even now. She haunts me in every place. I was the other day talking on the sea bank with certain Venetians, and thither comes the bauble, and by this hand falls me thus about my neck.
Oh,
crying, oh dear Cassio, as it were. His gesture imports it.
So hangs and lolls and weeps upon me, so hails and pulls me.
Oh, now he tells how she plucked him to my chamber. Oh, I see that nose of yours, but not that dog I shall throw it to.
Well, I must leave her company.
Before me, look where she comes.
Does such another fit you? Marry, a perfumed one. What do you mean by this haunting of me?
Let the devil and his dam haunt you. What did you mean by the same handkerchief that you gave me even now? A likely piece of work that you should find it in your chamber and know not who left it there. This is some minx's token, and I must take out the work? Huh, there, give it to your hobby horse. Wheresoever you had it, I'll take out no work on it.
How now, my sweet Bianca, how now, how now?
By heaven, that should be my handkerchief.
And you'll come to supper tonight, you may. And you will not come when you are next prepared for.
After her, after her.
Faith, I must she rail in the streets thus.
Will you sup there?
Faith, I intend so.
Well, I may chance to see you, for I would very fain speak with you.
Freely come, will you?
Go to, say no more.
How shall I murder him, Iago?
Did you perceive how he laughed at his vice?
Oh, Iago.
You see the handkerchief?
What was that mine?
Yours, by this hand. To see how he prizes the foolish woman, your wife. She gave it him, and he hath given it his whore.
Aye, let her rot and perish and be damned tonight, for she shall not live. No, my heart is turned to stone. I strike it, and it hurts my hand. Oh, the world have not a sweeter creature. She might lie by an emperor's side and command him tasks.
She's the worse for all this.
Oh, a thousand times. And then such a gentle condition.
Aye, too gentle.
Nay, that's certain. But yet, the pity of it, Iago. Oh, the pity of it, Iago.
If you are so fond over her iniquity, give her patent to offend. For if it touch not you, it comes near nobody.
I will chop her into messes. Cuckold me.
Oh, 'tis foul.
With mine officer.
That's fouler.
Give me some poison, Iago. This night, I will not expostulate with her, lest her body and beauty unprovided my mind again. This night, Iago.
Do it not with poison. Strangle her in her bed, even the bed she hath contaminated.
Good. Good. The justice of it pleases. Very good.
And for Cassio, let me be his undertaker. You shall hear more by midnight.
Excellent. Good. What trumpet is that saying?
I warrant something from Venice. 'Tis Lodovico. This comes from the Duke. See, your wife's with him.
God save you, worthy general.
With all my heart, sir.
The Duke and the senators of Venice greet you.
I kiss the instrument of their pleasures.
And what's the news, good cousin Lodovico?
I am very glad to see you, Signor. Welcome to Cyprus.
I thank you. How does Lieutenant Cassio?
Lives, sir.
Cousin, there's fallen between him and my lord an unkind breach, but you
Oh.
shall do well.
Are you sure of that?
My lord?
This fell you not to do as you will.
He did not call. He is busy in the paper. Is there division twixt my lord and Cassio?
A most unhappy one. I would do much to atone them for the love I bear to Cassio.
Fire and brimstone.
My lord?
Are you wise?
Is he angry?
Maybe the letter moved him, for as I think they do command him home, deputing Cassio in his government.
By my troth, I am glad on't.
Indeed.
My lord?
I am glad to see you, mad.
Why, sweet Othello?
Devil!
I have not deserved this.
My lord, this would not be believed in Venice, though I should swear I saw it. It is very much. Make her amends, she weeps.
Oh, devil, devil! If that the earth could teem with woman's tears, each drop she falls would prove a crocodile out my sight.
I will not stay to offend you.
Truly an obedient lady. I do beseech your lordship, call her back.
Mistress!
My lord.
What would you with her, sir?
Who I, my lord?
I? You did wish that I would make her turn, sir. She can turn and turn, and yet go on and turn again, and she can weep, sir. Weep! And she's obedient, as you say, obedient, very obedient. Proceed in your tears. Concerning this, sir, oh, well-painted passion, I'm commanded home. Get you away. I'll send for you anon. Sir, I obey the mandate and will return to Venice. Hence, avaunt. Cassio shall have my place. And sir, tonight I do entreat that we may sup together. You are welcome, sir, to Cyprus. Goats and monkeys.
Is this the noble Moor whom our full senate call all in all sufficient? Is this the nature whom passion could not shake, whose solid virtue the shot of accident nor dart of chance could neither graze nor pierce?
He is much changed.
But what? Strike his wife?
Faith, that was not so well. Yet would I knew that stroke would prove the worst.
Is it his use, or did the letters work upon his blood and new create this fault?
Alas, alas. It is not honesty in me to speak what I have seen and known. You shall observe him, and his own courses will denote him so that I may save my speech. Do but go after, and mark how he continues.
I am sorry that I am deceived in him.
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 2, Cyprus, a room in the castle. Enter Othello and EMILIA.
You have seen nothing, then?
Not even heard, nor ever did suspect.
Yes, you have seen Cassio and she together.
But then I saw no harm, and then I heard each syllable that breath made up between them.
What, did they never whisper?
Never, my lord.
Nor send you out thy way?
Never.
To fetch her fan, her gloves, her mask, nor nothing?
Never, my lord.
Strange.
If any wretch have put this in your head, let heaven requite it with the serpent's curse. For if she be not honest, chaste, and true, there's no man happy. The purest of their wives is foul as slander.
Bid her come hither, go. She says enough. Yet she's a simple board that cannot say as much. This is a subtle whore, a closet lock and key of villainous secrets, and yet she'll kneel and pray. I've seen her do it.
My lord, what is your will?
Pray you, Chuck. Come hither.
What is your pleasure?
Let me see your eyes. Look in my face.
What horrible fancies these?
Why? What art thou?
Wife, my lord, your true and loyal wife.
Come, swear it. Damn thyself, lest being like one of heaven, the devils themselves should fear to seize thee. Therefore, be double damned. Swear thou art honest.
Heaven doth truly know it.
Heaven truly knows that thou art false as hell.
Whom, my lord? With whom? How?
Desdemona, away, away, away.
Alas, why do you weep? Am I the motive of these tears, my lord? Oh, if haply you do my father suspect an instrument of this your calling back, lay not your blame on me.
Had it pleased heaven to try me with affliction, I should have found in some place of my soul a drop of patience, but alas, to make me the fixed figure of the time of scorn, to point his slow, moving finger at it, yet I could bear that too. Well, very well, but there, where I have garnered up my heart, the fountain from which my current runs, or else dries up, to be discarded thence. Patience, thou young and rose-lit cherubim, aye, here looks grim as hell.
I hope my noble lord esteems me honest.
Oh, aye, and summer flies are in the shambles that quicken even with blowing. Oh, thou weed, who art so lovely and fair and smellest so sweet that the sense aches at me. Would thou hast never been born.
And what ignorant sin have I committed?
Was this fair paper, this most godly book, made to write whore upon? What committed? Impudent strumpet.
Why haven't you do me wrong?
Are you not a strumpet?
No, and so I am a Christian. If to preserve this vessel for my lord from any other foul, unlawful touch be not to be a strumpet, I am none.
What, not a whore?
No, as I shall be saved.
Is it possible?
Oh, heaven forgive all.
I cry you mercy then. I took you for that cunning whore of Venice that married with Othello. You, mistress! That had the office opposite to St. Peter and keeps the gates of hell. You, yeah, you. We have done our course. There's your money, for your pains. I pray you, turn the key and keep our counsel.
Alas, what does this gentleman conceive? How do you, madam? How do you, my good lady?
Yes, half asleep.
Good madam, what's the matter with my lord?
Talk to me, Emilia. No, I cannot weep. No answers have I none, but what should go by water. Prithee tonight, lay on my bed my wedding sheets, remember. And call thy husband hither.
Is change indeed.
'Tis meet I should be used so. Very meet. How have I then behaved? Thee might stake the smallest opinion on my least mishap.
What is your pleasure, madam? How is't with you?
Alas, Iago, my lord hath so behawed her, thrown such despite and heavy terms upon her, that true hearts cannot bear it.
Am I that name, Iago?
What name, fair lady?
Which as she said, my lord did say I was.
He called her whore, a beggar in his drink, could not have laid such terms upon his callet.
Why did he so?
I do not know. I am sure I am not such.
Do not weep. Do not weep. Alas, the day.
Hath she forsook so many noble matches, her father and her country and her friends, to be called whore? Would it not make one weep?
'Tis my wretched fortune.
Beshrew him for't! How comes this trick upon him?
I don't know.
I will be hanged if some eternal villain, some busy and insinuating rogue, some cogging, cozening slave to get some office, have not devised this slander. I will be hanged else.
Fie, there is no such man. It is impossible.
If any such there be, heaven pardon him.
A hole to pardon him, and hell nor his bones. Why should he call her whore? Who keeps her company? What place? What time? What form? What likelihood? The more's abused by some most villainous knave, some base notorious knave, some scurvy fellow. Oh, fie upon them! Some such squire he was that turned your wit the seeming side about and made you to suspect me with them all.
You're a fool. Go to.
Alas, Iago, what shall I do to win my lord again? Good friend, go to him, for by this light of heaven, I not know how I lost him. Here I kneel. If e'er my will did trespass against his love, either in discourse of thought or actual deed, God forswear me. Unkindness may do much, and his unkindness may defeat my life, but never taint my love. I cannot say, oh, it does abhor me now. I speak the words to do the act that might the addition and not the world's massive vanity could make me.
I pray you, be content. 'Tis but his humour. The business of the state does him offence, and he does chide with you.
It were no other.
It is but so, I warrant. Hark, how these instruments summon to supper. The messengers of Venice stay the meat. Go in, and weep not. All things shall be well. How now, Roderigo?
I do not find that thou dealst justly with me.
What in the contrary?
Every day thou dost me with some device, Iago, and rather, as it seems to me now, keepst me from all convenience than supplieth me with the least advantage of hope. I will indeed no longer endure it.
Will you hear me, Roderigo?
I have wasted myself out of my means. The jewels you have had from me to deliver Desdemona would have corrupted a votarist. You have told me she hath received them and returned me expectations on comforts of sudden respect and acquaintance, but I find none.
Well, go to. Very well.
Very well. Go to. I cannot go to, man, nor 'tis not very well. By this hand, I think it is scurvy, and I begin to find myself fopped in it.
Very well.
Oh, I tell you, 'tis not very well. I will make myself known to Desdemona. If she will return me my jewels, I will give over my suit and repent my unlawful solicitation. If not, assure yourself I will seek satisfaction of you.
Why, now I see there's metal in thee. Give me thy hand, Roderigo. I protest I have dealt most directly in thy affair.
It hath not appeared.
I grant it indeed, it hath not appeared, but your suspicion is not without wit and judgment. But Roderigo, if thou hast that in thee indeed, which I have greater reason to believe now than ever, I mean purpose, courage, and valour, this night show it. If thou the next night following enjoy not Desdemona, take me from this world with treachery and devise engines for my life.
Well, what is it? Is it within reason and compass?
Sir, there is a special commission come from Venice to depute Cassio in Othello's office.
Is that true? Why, then Othello and Desdemona return again to Venice.
No. He goes into Mauritania and taketh away with him the fair Desdemona, unless his abode be lingered here by some accident, wherein none can be so determinate as the removing of Cassio.
How do you mean removing him?
Why, by making him incapable of Othello's place. Knocking out his brains!
And that you'd have me do?
Aye, if you dare do yourself a profit and a right. He sups tonight with a harlotry, and thither will I go to him. He knows not yet of his honourable fortune. If you will watch his going thence, which I will fashion to fall out between 12 and 1, you may take him at your pleasure. I will be near to second your attempt, and he shall fall between us. Come, stand not amazed at it, but go along with me. It is now high supper time, and the night grows to waste. About it!
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 3, Cyprus, another room in the castle. Enter Othello, Lodovico, Desdemona, and Emilia.
Do beseech you, sir, trouble yourself no further.
Pardon me, 'twill do me good to walk.
Madam, good night. I humbly thank your ladyship.
Your honour is most welcome.
Will you walk, sir? Oh, Desdemona.
My lord.
Get you to bed on the instant. I'll be returned forthwith. Dismiss your attendant there. Look it be done.
I will, my lord.
How goes it now? He looks gentler than he did.
Says he will return incontinent and hath commanded me to go to bed and bid me to dismiss you.
Dismiss me?
Bidding. Therefore, good Emilia, give me my nightly wearing and adieu. We must not now displease him.
I would you had never seen him.
So would not I. My love doth so approve him that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns prithee unto me have grace and favour in them.
I have laid those sheets you bade me on the bed.
Ah, all's one. Good faith, how foolish are our minds. If I do die before thee, prithee shroud me in one of these same sheets.
Come, come, you talk.
My mother had a maid called Barbary. She was in love, and he she loved proved mad, and did forsake her. She had a song of willow, an old thing 'twas, but it expressed her fortune, and she died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my mind. I have much to do but to go hang my head all at one side and sing it like poor Barbary, pretty dispatched.
Shall I go fetch your nightgown?
Oh, put me here. This Lodovico is a proper man.
A very handsome man.
He speaks well.
I know a lady in Venice would have walked barefoot to Palestine for a touch of his nether lip.
The poor soul sat sighing by a sycamore tree, sing all the green willow, willow. Her hand on her bosom, her head on her knee, sing willow, lay by these. Willow, willow, prithee hide thee, he'll come anon. Let nobody blame him, his scorn I approve. Nay, that's not next. Hark, who is that knocks?
It's the wind.
I called my love false love, but what said he then? If I caught more women, you couch with more men. Get thee gone. Good night. Oh, my eyes do itch. Does that put weeping?
'Tis neither here nor there.
I've heard it said so. Oh, these men. These men. Dost thou in conscience think, tell me, Emilia, that there be women do abuse their husbands in such gross kind?
There be some such, no question.
Dost thou do such a deed for all the world?
Why would not you?
This heavenly light.
Nor I neither by this heavenly light. I might do it as well in the dark.
Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world?
The world's a huge thing. It is a great price for a small vice.
Good troth, I think thou wouldst not. I do not think there is any such woman.
Yes, a dozen, and as many to the vantage as would store the world they played for. But I think it is their husbands' faults if wives do fall. Say that they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us, or say they strike us, or scant our former having in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet we have some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell and have their palates both for sweet and sour as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And does affection breed it? I think it does. Is frailty that thus us? It is so too. And have we not affections, desires for sport, and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know. The ills we do, their ills instruct us so.
Good night. God me such uses send, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad mend.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1, Cyprus, a street. Enter Iago and Roderigo.
Here. Stand behind this bulk. Straight will he come.
Be near at hand. I may miscarry it.
Here at thy hand, be bold and take thy stand.
'Tis but a man, gone, forth my sword. He dies.
I have rubbed this young quat almost to the sense, and he grows angry. Now whether he kill Cassio, or Cassio him, or each do kill the other, every way makes my gain. Live Roderigo. He calls me to a restitution large of gold and jewels that I bobbed from him as gifts to Desdemona. It must not be. If Cassio do remain, he hath a daily beauty in his life that makes me ugly. And besides, the more may unfold me to him, there stand I in peril. No, he must die. Be it so, I hear him coming.
I know his gait. 'Tis he. Villain, thou diest. Oh.
Must have been mine enemy indeed. But my coat is better than thou knowest. I will make proof of thine.
No! No! I am slain! Oh! Oh!
Ah!
Oh!
I'm forever. Help home, Anna!
Voice of Cassio. Iago keeps his word.
Oh, villain that I am! Oh.
It is even so.
Light! A surgeon!
It is he. Oh, brave Iago, honest and just, that has such a noble sense of thy friend's wrong, thou teachest me. Minion, your dear lies dead, and your unblessed fate hies. Trumpet, I come forth of my heart, those charms thine eyes are blotted, thy bed lust-stained, shall with lust blood be spotted.
What ho! No watch! No passage! Murder! Murder!
Oh, wretched villain!
2 or 3 groan. 'Tis heavy night. These may be counterfeits. Let's think it unsafe to come into the cry without more help.
Nobody come? Then I shall bleed to death.
Hark!
Who's there? What noise is this that cries on murder?
We do not know.
Did not you hear a cry?
Here! Here! For heaven's sake, help me!
What are you here that cry so grievously?
Iago! Oh, I am spoiled, undone by villains! Give me some help!
Oh me, Lieutenant! What villains have done this?
I think that one of them is still here about.
Oh! Help me there!
Treacherous villains!
That's one of them!
Oh, murderous slave! Oh, villain!
Oh, down, Iago! Inhuman dog!
Kill men in the dark? Where be these bloody thieves? How silent is this town? Ho! Murder! Murder! What may you be? Are you of good or evil?
As you shall prove us, praise us.
Signor Lodovico!
He, sir.
I cry you mercy. Here's Cassio hurt by villains.
Cassio!
How is't, brother?
My leg is cut too.
Marry, heaven forbid. Light, gentlemen, I'll bind it with my shirt.
What is the matter, Ho?
Who is that cried?
Oh, my dear Cassio, my sweet Cassio.
Oh, notable strumpet. Cassio, may you suspect who they should be that have thus mangled you?
I am sorry to find you thus. I have been to seek you.
Oh, alas, he faints. Oh, Cassio, Cassio, Cassio.
Gentlemen all, I do suspect this trash to be party in this injury. Patience a while. Good Cassio, come, lend me a light, and know we this face or no? Alas, my friend and dear countryman, Roderigo. No, yes, sure, oh heaven, Roderigo.
What, of Venice?
Even he, sir, did you know him?
Know him? I.
Oh, Signor Gratiano, I cry your gentle pardon. These bloody accidents must excuse my manners that so neglected you.
I am glad to see you.
How do you, Cassio?
Roderigo!
'Tis he. I'll fetch the general surgeon. For you, mistress, save you your labour. He that lies slain here, Cassio, is my dear friend. What malice was between you?
None in the world. Nor do I know the man.
What? Look you pale? Oh, bear him out of the air. Oh, stay you, good gentleman. Look you pale, mistress? Do you perceive the ghastness of her eye? Do you see, gentlemen? Nay, guiltiness will speak, though tongues were out of use.
Lass, what is the matter? What is the matter, husband?
Cassio hath here been set on in the dark by Roderigo and fellows that are scaped. He's almost slain, and Roderigo quite dead.
Alas, good gentleman, alas, good Cassio!
This is the fruits of whoring. Prithee, Emilia, go know of Cassio where he supped tonight. What, do you shake at that?
He supped at my house, but I therefore shake not.
Oh, did he so? I charge you go with me.
Oh, fie upon thee, strumpet!
I am no strumpet, but of life as honest as you that thus abuse me.
Am I, foe? Fie upon thee!
Kind gentlemen, let's go see poor Cassio dressed. Come, mistress, you must tell's another tale. Emilia, run you to the citadel, and tell my lord and lady what hath happed. Will you all go on afore? This is the night that either makes me or fordoes me quite.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 2, a bedchamber in the castle. Enter Othello with a light and Desdemona in her bed asleep.
It is the cause. It is the cause. Ah, my soul. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow, and smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she'll betray more men. Put out the light, and then put out the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again thy former light restore, should I repent me. But once put out thy light, thou cunningest pattern of excelling nature, I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light relume. When I pluck thy rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It must needs wither. I'll smell it on the tree. Balmy breath. That does almost persuade justice to break her sword. One more. Be thus when thou art dead, and I will kill thee and love thee after. One more. And that The last. So sweet was near so fatal. I must weep. But they are cruel tears. This sorrow is heavenly. It strikes where it doth love. She wakes.
Who's there? Othello?
Aye, Desdemona.
You come to bed, my lord.
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Aye, my lord.
If you bethink yourself of any crime unreconciled as to yet, to heaven and grace solicit for it straight.
My lord, what may you mean by that?
Well, do it. And be brief. I will walk by. I will not kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heaven forfend. I will not kill thy soul.
Talk you of killing?
Aye, I do.
In heaven have mercy on me.
Amen, with all my heart.
I hope you will not kill me.
Think on my sins.
Your love, I bear to you.
Aye, and for that thou didst.
That's unnatural, it kills for loving. Some bloody passion shakes your very frame. These are portents, but yet I hope it do not point on me.
Peace and be still.
I will so. What's the matter?
That handkerchief, which I so loved and gave thee, thou gavest to Cassio.
No, but my life and soul, send for the man and ask him.
So take heed of perjury. Thou art on thy deathbed.
Lord have mercy on me.
I say amen.
And have mercy on you too. I never did offend you in my life. Never loved Cassio, but with such a general warranty of heaven as I might love. I never gave him token.
By heaven, I saw my handkerchief in his hand. I saw the handkerchief.
He found it then. I never gave it him. Send for him hither. Let him confess the truth.
He hath confessed.
What, my lord?
That he hath used thee.
How? Unlawfully?
Aye.
Who will not say so?
No, his mouth is stopped. Honest Iago had ta'en order for it.
What? Is he dead? Alas, he is betrayed, and I am undone.
Out, strumpet, weepest thou for him to my face?
Banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Hush, down, strumpet.
Come on, let me live tonight.
Nay, and you strive.
For half an hour.
No, being done, there is no pause.
Well, I said one prayer.
It is too late. What noise is this? I'm not dead. Not yet quite dead. I, that am cruel, am yet merciful. I will not have thee linger in thy pain. So who's there?
Oh, good, my lord! I will speak a word with you!
Yes. 'Tis EMILIA. By and by. She's dead. 'Tis like she comes to speak of Cassio's death. The noise was high. No more moving. Still as the grave. Shall she come in? Was it good? I think she stirs again. No. What is best to do? If she come in, she'll sure speak to my wife. My wife. What wife? I have no wife. Oh, insupportable. Oh, heavy hour.
I never see till as I may speak. Oh, good, my lord.
I forgot thee. Oh, come in, EMILIA. Where art thou? What's the matter with thee now?
My lord, yonder's foul murder's done.
What, now?
But now, my lord.
It is the very error of the moon. She comes more nearer earth than she was wont and makes men mad.
Cassio, my lord, hath killed a young Venetian called Roderigo.
Roderigo killed? And Cassio killed?
No, Cassio is not killed.
Not Cassio killed? The murder's out of tune and sweet revenge grows harsh.
Falsely, Lord, what cry is that?
That what?
And alas, that was my lady's voice. Help! Help! Help!
guiltless death. I die.
Oh, who hath done this deed?
Nobody. I myself. Farewell. Commend me to my kind lord.
Why? How should she be murdered?
Alas, who knows?
You heard her say herself, it was not I.
He said so, I must needs report the truth.
She's like a liar gone to burning hell. 'Twas I that killed her.
Oh, thee more angel she, and you the blacker devil.
She turned to folly and she was a whore.
Thou dost belie her, and thou art a devil.
She was false as water.
Thou art rash as fire to say that she was false. Oh, she was heavenly true.
Cassio did top her. Ask thy husband else. Oh, I were damned beneath all depth in hell, but I did proceed upon just grounds to do this extremity. Thy husband knew it
My
all.
husband?
Aye, 'twas thy husband who told on her first. An honest man he is, and hates the slime that sticks on filthy deeds.
My husband?
What needs this iterance, woman? I say thy husband.
Oh, mistress, villainy hath made mocks with love. My husband say she was false.
He, woman, I say, thy husband. Dost thou understand the word, my friend? Thy husband, honest Iago.
If he say so, may his pernicious soul rot half a grain a day. He lies to the heart. She was too fond of her most filthy bargain.
Huh?
Do thy worst. This deed of thine is no more worthy heaven than thou wast worthy her.
Peace, you were best.
Thou hast not half that power to do me harm, as I have to be hurt. Oh, gull, oh, dolt, as ignorant as dirt, thou hast done a deed. I care not for thy sword, I'll make thee known. Though I lost 20 lives, help, help, oh, help! The more have killed my mistress, murder, murder!
What is the matter? How now, General?
Oh, are you come, Iago? You have done well that men must lay their murders on your neck.
What is the matter?
Disprove this villain if thou beest a man. He says thou toldst him that his wife was false. I know thou didst not. Thou art not such a villain. Speak, for my heart is full.
I told him what I thought, and told no more than what he found himself was apt and
But
true.
did you ever tell him she was false?
I did!
You told a lie, an odious, damned lie. She false with Cassio. Did you say with Cassio?
With Cassio, mistress, go to, charm your tongue.
I will not charm my tongue, I'm bound to speak. My mistress here lies murdered in her bed, and your reports have set the murder on.
Nay, stare not, masters. It is true, indeed.
It is a strange truth.
Oh, monstrous act!
Villainy! I think upon't, I think I smelled, oh, villainy! I thought so then, I'll kill myself for grief, oh, villainy! Villainy!
What, are you mad? I charge you, get you home.
Good gentlemen, let me have leave to speak. 'Tis proper I obey him, but not now. Perchance, Iago, I will ne'er go home.
Oh.
Lay thee down and roar, for thou hast killed the sweetest innocent that e'er did lift up eye.
Oh, she was foul. I scarce did know you, uncle. There lies your niece, whose breath, indeed, these hands have newly stopped. I know this act shows horrible and grim.
Oh, Desdemona, I am glad thy father's dead. Thy match was mortal to him, and pure grief shore his old thread in twain. Did he live now? This sight would make him do a desperate turn, yea, curse his better angel from his side, and fall to reprobates.
'Tis pitiful. But yet Iago knows that she with Cassio had the act of shame 1,000 times committed. Cassio confessed it, and she did gratify his amorous works with that recognizance and pledge of love which I first gave her. I saw it in his hand. It was a handkerchief, an antique token my father gave my mother.
Oh, God, oh, heavenly God!
Goons, hold your peace.
'Twill out, I peace? No, I will speak as liberal as the North. Let heaven and men and devils, let them all cry shame against me, yet I'll speak.
You wise and get you home.
I will not.
Aye, your sword upon a woman.
Oh, thou dull Moor, that handkerchief thou speakst of, I found but by fortune, and did give my husband, for often with a solemn earnestness he begged of me to steal it.
Filth, thou liest!
By heaven, I do not, gentlemen. Oh, murderous coxcomb, what should such a fool do with so good a wife?
Are there no stones in heaven? For what serves for the thunder? The precious villain!
The woman false. Sure he hath killed his wife.
Oh, lay me by my mistress' side.
He's gone, but his wife's killed.
'Tis a notorious villain. Take you this weapon. Come, guard the door without, let him not pass, but kill him rather. I'll have after that same villain, for 'tis a damned slave.
I am no valiant neither, but every puny whipster gets my sword. Why should honor outlive honesty? Let it all go.
What did thy songbird, lady? Hark, canst thou hear me? I will play the swan and die in music. Willow, willow, more. She was chaste. She loved thee, cruel more. So come my soul to bliss as I speak true. So speaking as I think, alas, I die.
I have another weapon in this chamber. It was a sword of Spain, the ice brook's temper. Oh, here it is. Uncle, I must come forth.
If thou attempt it, it will cost thee dear. Thou hast no weapon and perforce must suffer.
Look in upon me then and speak with me, or naked as I am, I will assault thee.
What is the matter?
Behold, I have a weapon. A better never did itself sustain upon a soldier's thigh. I have seen the day. I have made my way through more impediments than 20 times your stop, but oh, vain boast. Who can control his fate? 'Tis not so now, but not being afraid, though you do not see me unweaponed, here is my journey's end. Here is my butt and very sea mark of my utmost sail. Now, how dost thou look now? Oh, sail-starred wench, pale as my smock. When shall we meet at Compt? This look of thine will hurl my soul from heaven, and fiends will snatch at it. Cold, cold, my girl. Even like thy chastity. Curse, curse, slave! Ah, whip me, ye devils, from the possession of this heavenly sight. Blow me out about in winds, roast me in sulphur, wash me in steep down ghosts of liquid fire. Oh, Desdemona, dead, Desdemona, dead. No.
Where is this rash and most unfortunate man?
That's he that was Othello. Here I am.
Where is that viper? Bring the villain forth.
I look towards his feet, but that's a fable. If thou beest the devil, I cannot kill thee.
Bring the sword from him.
I bleed, sir, but not killed.
I am not sorry, neither. I'd have thee live, for in my sense 'tis happiness to die.
This wretch hath part confessed his villainy. Did you and he consent in Cassio's death?
Aye.
Gentlemen, I never gave you cause.
I do believe it, and I ask your pardon. Will you, I pray, demand that demi-devil why he hath ensnared my soul and body?
Demand me nothing. What you know, you know. From this time forth, I never will speak word.
What? Not to pray?
Torment will ope thy lips.
Oh, thou pernicious caitiff! How came you, Cassio, by that handkerchief that was my wife's?
I found it in my chamber. And he himself confessed it, but even now. That day he dropped it for a special purpose, which wrought to his desire.
Oh, fool, fool, fool!
Iago hurt him. Iago set him on.
You must forsake this room and go with us. Your power and your command is taken off, and Cassio rules in Cyprus. For this slave, if there be any cunning cruelty that can torment him much and hold him long, it shall be his. You shall close prisoner rest, till that the nature of your fault be known to the Venetian state. Come, bring away.
Soft you. A word or two before you go. I have done the state some service, and they know it. No more of that. I pray you, in your letters, when you shall these unlucky deeds relate, speak of me as I am, nothing extenuate, nor set down aught in malice. Then you must speak of one that loved not wisely, but too well, of one not easily jealous, but being wrought, perplexed in the extreme, of one whose eyes, albeit unused to the melting mood, drops tears as fast as the Arabian trees their medicinable gum. Set you down this, and say besides, that in Aleppo, where a malignant and turbaned Turk beat a Venetian and traduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog and smote him.
Oh, bloody period.
All that is spoke is marred.
I kissed thee. I killed thee. No way but this. Killing myself. To die. Upon a kiss.
This did I fear. Thought he had no weapon, for he was great of heart.
Oh, Spartan dog, more fell than anguish, hunger, or the sea. Look on the tragic loading of this bed. This is thy work. The object poisons sight, let it be hid. Gratiano, keep the house, and seize upon the fortunes of the Moor, for they succeed on you. To you, Lord Governor, remains the censure of this hellish villain. The time, the place, the torture, enforce it. Myself will straight aboard, and to the state this heavy act with heavy heart relate.
Exeunt.
Wow. All right, everyone, come out here. Give yourselves a massive round of applause for that. That was absolutely beyond stunning. Apologies, I'm still pulling myself together after that. That was absolutely extraordinary. Really, really amazing work. Thank you all so very, very much. Applause rolling in from our incredible audience for this evening. Thank you for sticking with us. To those of you watching around the world at home, thank you for joining us. Allow me now to introduce you to the cast and crew, starting as always with our incredible producer, Sarah Peachy.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm an innovation project manager and actor based in Glasgow.
Our associate director, stage manager and master of props, Emily Ingram.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a writer, director and stage manager based in Edinburgh in Scotland.
Wonderful. With thanks to our associate producer, Matt Rhodes, who has had to shoot off for an audition. Best of luck, mate. On music and sound, it's Adam Gibson.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'm a sound designer and composer based in London.
And tonight's movement and fight director, the founder of Stage Fight Scotland and president of the British Academy of Stage and Screen Combat. Please welcome back to the show, Janet Lawson.
Thank you very much. Stage combat teacher, fight director, based just outside Glasgow.
Wonderful. And our incredible cast for this evening. First of all, as Othello, Esmonde Cole.
Hi.
I played Othello. My name is Esmonde Cole, based in London. I'm an actor and voiceover artist.
As Iago, Dominic Brewer.
Hi everyone, I'm Dominic Brewer. I'm an actor originally from Bristol, now living in London.
As Desdemona, Alex Andlau.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Alex. I'm originally from Middlesbrough in the northeast of England, but now I live in northwest London, and I'm an actor and special educational needs teacher.
As EMILIA, Elena Pavli.
Hi, I'm Elena Pavli. I'm an actor and writer from London and Cyprus and based in London and Los Angeles.
As CASSIO, Karim Hadaya.
Hi, my name is Karim Hadaya. I live in London and I'm a student as well as an actor.
As BRABANTIO, Stephen Schnetzer.
Hello, Stephen Schnetzer from Harlem, USA, acting for 49 years.
As RODERIGO, Louise Oliver.
Hi, I'm Louise. I'm an actress, theatre maker and creative producer from Glasgow.
As LODOVICO, Ben Gilbert.
Hi, I'm Ben Gilbert. I'm an actor and personal trainer, and I'm from Plymouth.
As Duke of Venice, Susan Bush.
G'day, I'm Susan Bush. I'm an actor and voiceover artist based in Brisbane, Australia.
As Montano, Alec Stevens III.
Hello, I'm Alex Stevens III. I'm an actor, singer, and writer, and have a podcast called Bushwick Variety Show. So I'm based in Bushwick.
As Bianca, Chichi Onuah.
Hi, hello. My name is Chichi Onuah. I'm an actor, mover, singer, and I'm in Toronto, Canada. What?
As Gratiano, Tyler Moss.
Hi, my name's Tyler Moss. I am an actor and the artistic director of the Shakespeare Forum in East Harlem, New York City.
And our ensemble for this evening. First of all, Ross Bailey.
Hello guys, my name is Ross Bailey and I'm an actor and electrician from London.
Shamiso Mushambi.
Hi, I'm Shamiso Mushambi. I'm an actor, comedy writer, and presenter in London, and I host a comedy show called Comedy Pops.
Candace Leung.
Hi there, I'm Candace Leung, and I'm an actor. I'm based in Los Angeles.
Gabriel Akamo.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Akamo. I'm an actor and poet based in London.
Luke Ferrugia.
Hi there, my name is Luke, and I'm an actor, singer, and dancer. I was born in Malta, but I'm based in London.
And Claire-Monique Martin.
Hi guys, I'm Claire-Monique Martin. I am an actor, musician, and singer, and I'm based in Sidcup, South East London. Woo!
Gabriel, Luke, and Claire were our valiant swings for this evening. In the event of technical difficulties or personal emergencies, they would have swung in to keep the story moving forward, and they've also been an invaluable asset to us in rehearsal and indeed in our pre-production as well. So thank you all so much for joining us. We really massively do appreciate your work. And now, if you have any questions for us, either the cast or the crew, please do get those in. We've still got the applause rolling in right now, but we'd love to hear some questions from you if you have them. So get those in for us and we will pass them along to the cast and crew respectively. Sarah, how are we?
Yeah. Oh, what a roller coaster. My God, you guys are amazing. Still recovering. I was going to say, actually, we had those couple of questions in the interval that we really wanted to throw back out to our lovely Iago and Desdemona. So should we pick up on those while we're waiting for some fresh questions to come in?
Yes, go for it. Yeah.
Lovely. So the first one, Alex, to remind you, was a question saying, Desdemona comes across as a maiden who's very bold. How did this characterization develop?
Good question. Pretty much the same way I approach any character. I try not to judge my character, but I do base some of the people I play on people I know. So when looking at Desdemona, I might be looking at women in my life, like my mum and nana who are watching back over Middlesbrough. Hi, Mum. And then all my friends and my acting colleagues. Not a single one of those women that I know are weak, nor do I believe any woman is inherently weak. So therefore, how could I play Desdemona as being this passive, obedient waif? That's not who she is. That's what she's been stereotyped to be throughout theatrical history. And it's up to people like us to change that, I think.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I was astonished, to be honest, when I read the play that, yeah, what I'd seen before just didn't seem to bear any relationship to what was there on the page. And I thought you did an absolutely phenomenal job of bringing such character and fire and life to Desdemona in a way that I haven't seen before, and that I very much want to see again on a stage.
Oh, bless you, Rob. Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. And what was our other question for Iago?
So that one was, there are multiple possible motivations for Iago's plotting. What did you discuss in rehearsal?
From the angel to the devil. Let's see. I mean, we discussed, I suppose we discussed, I mean, Rob mentioned these things in the interval, but Iago has multiple motives for what he does. And it was problematic for me from the start, because one of the most famous pieces of academic critique for this play and for this character is Coleridge saying the motiveless malignancy. Well, Iago to me has got 1,000,001 motives. He doles them out one by one. Whether you believe them or not, he believes them, which is enough. So yes, he's been, quite importantly, been overseen. He's been underpromoted in his own mind, which is what he says first to Roderigo. Later, he says he's quite certain that Othello has slept with his wife, and that's something that is repeated later by Emilia. And then, yeah, there's all sorts of good reasons. It's just partly his nature. He says it himself. He's jealous. He knows jealousy when he's saying, "Beware the green-eyed monster." He knows it all well and good, because that's what he's lived through with Emilia. Rightly or wrongly actually, but there we go.
And with Cassio as well, you know, he gets the promotion. That's just another form of jealousy, isn't it? It seemed to me really clear just watching it tonight, actually, because obviously this is the first time we've seen it all in a row as well, for you watching at home. It seems so clear that there was this jewel of jealousy with many different facets to it, that all seem to be pointing in the same direction. Really, really interesting stuff. Somebody, just quick follow-up. Somebody's asked, do you consider Iago to be evil?
I mean, Iago knows he's villainous and he's doing bad things, but and he does consistently call on the powers of darkness to help him. So I think he knows what he's doing, but I don't know if he thinks that's necessarily wrong, because yeah, that's what he believes is right. There is a certain element there of the awful white supremacy and the awful toxic masculinity that feeds into both of those things. Yes, of course he's right, because why wouldn't he be? He has all of his reasons, and I think he knows he's doing evil, if you like, but yeah.
Absolutely. Deborah, Anne, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Iago question. Is Iago evil?
Damn sure. No, I'm being silly. Evil is as evil does. What we practice, we become good at. So apparently, Iago has practiced deception, lies, trickery, treachery. For me, that equals evil.
Absolutely.
I mean, the opportunism of it is fascinating too, isn't it? Because at no point does he set out to say, I'm gonna kill everybody. That's never his plan. He wants his promotion, and he wants to mess around with Othello. Things run out of his control very, very quickly, and he kind of almost gleefully runs with it. It's like, okay, well, let's see where this is going to go.
I think it's the gleeful part that makes me say,
Yeah.
When Dominic, when you were doing, I can't remember exactly the scene, but you were just laughing. Ha ha ha! I'm gonna hurt. Ha ha! And I'm gonna kill it. Ha, ha, I'm gonna make sure. And in my heart, I kept saying, "Damn."
Yeah. he's so glad of his plan working. It's the excitement of it. It's overwhelming. It's like, my God, I'm actually doing this. This is actually happening. Yeah.
Like once that wave forms, he's just going to try and surf it for as long as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's another question that relates to this actually, was someone asked about the sort of nurture versus nature question on this. You know, is Iago wired this way, or is this something that's kind of built up, that's been conditioned in him over time?
I think it's nurture. I think it's what's happened to Iago has made him who he is. I think. I'm you know, this isn't something I know an awful lot about, so I don't want to go too overboard. But there's that sense of these are soldiers, these are warriors who've been trained to kill, and I think once you go there, you've gone there, and that can do some serious harm to a psyche. And yeah, so no wonder when Othello says, "Right, you kill Cassio, I'm gonna poison my wife," and I'm like, no, strangle her. I mean, it's kind of like these are awful men, you know.
Wonderful. Sarah, any more questions?
Yes, I've got one here which open up to the floor. Did you find it harder to ramp up the intense emotional scenes via Zoom than in real life? And if so, how do you work around that?
It was so hard.
Maybe Esmonde wants to take this
I was going to say, I'd love to hear from you, Alex, and from Esmonde. Yeah.
Go on, Esmonde.
Well, yeah, I'll let you go. She's muted herself. Okay. Yeah, I feel like definitely what I realized during that performance, like during rehearsals, I mean, obviously there's that time to play, because like there's obviously different time zones and we're working quite intensely for a short period of time, but I feel like it's harder to bring in the same energy you probably would. I mean, for me, when I come into like a rehearsal, like a physical rehearsal, I'm like really excited for it and like have that kind of similar adrenaline that I have for the show, which then allows me to be a bit more precise sometimes when it comes to like coming to the show. So I'm a bit more excited as opposed to like nervous. But when it comes to like doing it live, I remember the first time it was definitely hard. And you have to make sure you get yourself in the right headspace for it. But yeah, overall, it is a hard thing to ramp yourself up for when you're doing it via Zoom as opposed to physically in the real world.
Yeah, to add to that, if you're really into it, if you're really into your character, you're not thinking about anything else. Even though we have been sitting here reading the script, we're not thinking about anything else. So you can't even contemplate it as being ramping it up. It's just there. It's just there. And when it comes out, and you can't hide away from it, especially when you've got a little blinky light staring you in the face. You've got to go with it. And that's what makes performances like these so guttural and authentic, because it's just us. There's nobody else here, it's just us.
Yeah, I think there is something strangely liberating about being able to do this in your own safe space and without the benefit of thousands of eyes scrutinizing. Dom?
Yeah, it's a different kind of skill, but actually I don't find it terribly hard to find emotion on Zoom, because like any acting, there's an unreality, whether you're on stage or whether you're in front of a camera or whether you're doing it like this. When I'm seeing an actor acting opposite me and I'm seeing their emotion, then it's easy to find it. I found it very easy to be emotional looking at you, Alex, in your scene when you were crying, and that affected my performance because I was just getting moved as well. And that's just humans interacting with each other, isn't it? So regardless of where you're standing or the circumstance, acting is acting, I think.
Stephen?
Suspension of disbelief is suspension of disbelief. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter what the medium is. And I also wanted to add that I've seen a few productions of Othello, and this is as good as any I've experienced. I was out after Act 1, Scene 3, and I was able to watch you all for the rest of the play. I was so moved. Rob got us all to do such a clarifying version of the text, and the emotion was full, and it was just beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. Sarah, do we have any more questions?
Yes, so I've got one for a lovely Esmonde. So question is, do you think Othello's skin colour suggests racism yourself in relation to others, not including Iago? So does it go beyond?
What? I don't quite get it. So
I think it's, does the racism extend beyond Iago?
Oh, right. It's a tricky one. I think, obviously, for Brabantio, yes, because as soon as like he's almost triggered, like, you know, what was the phrase that Iago uses, something to do with the backs, the animal
beast
that he
with
uses.
2 backs.
Yeah. So like characters like that who Iago sees and knows that can easily be triggered, so to speak. But then I think for other people, maybe, say for instance, like a CASSIO, it's more so because even I when I was like reading over the scripts, like even today, even when I said, like, when I admitted, yeah, I did conspire to kill you, and he still addresses me as like I think good lord or something like that. So almost still reverential. Like, I mean, I gave you no cause. So I think you could either, I mean, it depends how you play it. I mean, for other characters, but I think other characters, maybe such as CASSIO, they see his worth and they see beyond the skin color. But maybe we don't know that, you know, if they were, you know, poisoned in the ear by like an Iago, they might turn. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it extends too much. I mean, besides like maybe Brabantio. But yeah, I think most of the characters just see Othello as this general and don't see they don't see they don't see his color so much until it's questioned. I guess that's maybe the best way of putting it.
Let's go to Tyler and then Elena.
Pardon me, because I love that this is the actor playing Othello's experience. That it sort of, it was Iago that was causing all of this. I sort of take away that there's racism in like throughout this play, that that all of the lords and the senators are like, hey man, he might be black, but he acts a lot nicer than, and he speaks a lot nicer than, you know, typical black people. And they're like, you know, and it, like EMILIA like lets her full racist out in that last scene where she starts calling Othello like all the dull Moor, you're a beast, like all of these maybe like words that they wouldn't necessarily use because they're more maybe polite than Iago. I don't know. I would initially, when I was younger, I would call it latent racism. And I have, as I've gotten older, believed there's no such thing, that it's all just racist. And like, and that extends beyond, like, I think it's really fascinating to have such a diverse cast, to still have these characters who view each other poorly, that that in this, the tribalism of like, well, my tribe is better than your tribe, or that that exists in this play is really sort of stuck out to me from all of your performances and the great sort of casting that you guys put together of such a variety of voices. And I like, and I honestly, I like was hesitating to raise my hand because I don't want to negate the point of view that Esmonde that you had, because I think it is an important point of view that like you felt that it was coming from this one place. And as a character who viewed you poorly, and who, I felt like I was on the side of everybody else against you in the play.
Elena.
Hello. Yeah, really just to echo what you just said, I do think it's interesting that EMILIA being married to Iago sort of has this tirade, this sort of vomit of racism that sort of comes out at the end that she's perhaps kept a lid on. I also think that you've got sort of sex and achievement piled on top of race. I think if you comb through the play, there are so many questions of status and the culture, and it's almost impossible, I think, to read this play without a contemporary lens, because we're reading it right now. And I think when you read it right now, it's interesting to see that Othello, as you said, Esmonde, in a professional situation is treated a certain way. But then the minute he steps, even perhaps out of line, these sort of racial slurs sort of unearth. And I think it's interesting that sort of traditionally Iago is also married to someone who isn't of the exact same ethnicity as him and speaks down to her. Is it because she's a woman? Is it because she's not white enough? What, you know, I think it's really just one of those plays like Merchant of Venice that poses more questions than it gives answers. But that's why I think it's easy to keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's really interesting. I think a couple of our audience members have drawn a connection between Emilia and Emilia Bassano and the Dark Lady of the Sonnets, and the idea that Iago, certainly his marriage is to someone of another race, and that is significant in their interpretation of it. There's a great play called Emilia, which is a kind of biopic version. Gabriel, what?
I was just expressing my love of Emilia the play. I'd encourage everyone to, like, even if you can't see it, read it, because there's a bit where Emilia Bassano walks in on Emilia's speech in the final act, which is phenomenal. That's it. I was just gushing about that.
Alex just doing a lovely demonstration of.
We have the poster in the background. Yeah. Love that little Easter egg.
It's the whole script. I'm obsessed.
Amazing. Somebody mentioned about the casting on this, so I just want to touch on that briefly before we move on. It was a really involved process for about a week, which is way longer than we usually have, but we understood that with this play it was especially important to take that time to do our best to get it right. And as we always have, we've wanted to be as inclusive as possible of underrepresented groups in theatre. But with this play and the role of racism and white supremacy and the singular nature of Othello in the title role, it's the Moor of Venice, right? With the way in which the play seems to isolate him, it just felt like more than any other play, really, this was going to necessitate a really conscious approach to the casting of each individual role. Because of that, we reached out to friends of the show. So we reached out to Vanessa I. Corredera, who's written a book on anti-racist appropriations of Othello, and to Dr. David Sterling Brown, who is a Black anti-racist Shakespeare academic, to discuss the possibilities for how we could uphold our values of diversity and inclusivity while also doing justice to the play and also keeping Othello at the centre of the narrative. And David in particular sent us some extraordinary resources around that, for everything from how you can use the movie Get Out to re-centre Othello at the centre of the narrative, because there's always a danger with this play that it pushes over into being the Iago story. And I was really thrilled, actually. I think I copy and pasted it while the show was going on. One commenter said, "This is like watching a horror movie and shouting, 'Run, he's behind you.'" And I was like, come on, we did it. I was just so, honestly, I was moved by the fact that that came across. The race-conscious casting of this was also massively helped by the work of our associate producer, Matt Rhodes, who looked into performance histories to see what other people had done, but also to look into other sources and look into kind of sociology in a way, to look at where people would make the most sense to be, where it would actually add something to the text and it would illuminate the performance of that text. Were it said, by somebody from the global majority. Once we'd done that process, of course, we handed over to this incredible cast. And having explained our initial thoughts and ideas to them, we made it clear that this was a jumping off point only. These were seeds for people to nurture and grow and to go in different directions with as they saw fit. We are acutely aware that we are an all-white production team in 2020, which is not great. And as such, we wanted to make sure that we had a diverse array of perspectives and voices in the room, and we wanted to make sure that we had time for all of those voices to be heard and to give their perspectives on this play and to inform the direction that we took as a group. As Elena put it in that initial discussion, the fact that we even have these people saying these words can do a lot of the job for us in a way. Nevertheless, I just want to thank everybody who has been involved in getting this to where it is, both our wonderful academics and our production team for going above and beyond, and finally to our incredible cast who have knocked it out of the absolute park, and in many more ways than just performative. It couldn't have been done without you. You know, this is your show, so thank you. Awesome. Sarah, do we have any more questions?
We do, yes. So let me see, which one is I going to go next? Oh, so I've got one for Deborah Ann. So someone has asked, how do you feel about Othello performances that cast Iago as black and Othello as white?
I'm muted. I've only known of one. The one with Patrick Stewart, and I'm not even sure that I've seen it. But in that, when I learned of it, I learned that Othello was white, and so was all the other characters in the play. And no, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Othello was white, and everyone else was black. I think that's how it was. So you get a reverse racism effect, or a verse isolated man effect. So I didn't see it, so I can't really say what that was like. I imagine it was not much unlike Othello, regular Othello. To me, bigotry is bigotry, whether it's whites against blacks or blacks against whites or Asians against Hispanics or Hispanics against Caucasians. It's not good. Any way you put it, any way you flip it, it's just not good. Jealousy is not good, but we do it. All of that. All of that is not good. There's a lot of bad choices made in this play. So no matter what your color, what your race, what your creed, what your status, a lot of the things that go on in this play are not good choices, especially Othello's. Whether he's black or white, his choices are bad. I wish he would have made different choices, but he didn't. And that's why we have a tragedy.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's yeah, it's so fascinating, isn't it? We were talking as well as part of the production, the idea that and it's come up in this conversation already, that idea of non-racist versus anti-racist, and the fact that we're now rightfully drawing a distinction between those two things. And I guess even if you have some non-racist characters in this play, you certainly don't have any anti-racist characters in this play, it would seem. And I suppose whichever way around that goes, I guess there is potential, but I haven't seen it either, so I can't really comment on that one. Sarah, any more questions?
Yes, so I've got one, another one for Esmonde. So the question is, the character arc is so steep for Othello. How did you map the turns, or did you just let them flow organically?
Yeah, that was a tricky one. It was what, yesterday? Went through, Rob and I went through a couple of the monologues, and I was just kind of, I mean, even from the top, from the start, like on Sunday when we met, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to play this. Because it's just so topsy-turvy, but also streamlined at the same time, if that makes sense. Yeah, it was more so we kind of like realized after yesterday that we wanted to make sure that if we establish that Othello is, you know, he displays this charisma and strength and nuanced and just intelligence and kind of spark, then that will speak for itself when it comes to then the almost kind of on the flip side, the genius of Iago, you know, using people's weaknesses against them to then spread things in their ears and turn them against each other for his own will. So then yeah, so then then you kind of just play into that and just make sure that you do most of the work at the start, so then all the rest just kind of falls into place. But yeah, it was definitely in terms of like Shakespeare, like hardest like kind of role I've done, and I've done Macbeth, so so like this is definitely hard. But I think it went okay, like the arc. So
you smashed it.
Seconded. Oh wow, yeah. A lovely. There's a bit where Othello says, "I'm rude in my speech" or something of that nature, and it's one of those classic humble underestimations of his own abilities. And I think you just demonstrated the exact same thing there, Esmonde. Yeah, it went well. Smashed it, mate. Smashed it. So chuffed. Amazing. Sarah, any more questions?
Yes, I've got one here that's been put forward, which is a great one for the whole cast. Have any of your views on the characters from the play or the play itself changed from working on this project?
Karim.
So like for Cassio, personally, my character, I found him to be, so I think I don't remember which movie I saw. I saw one of the Othellos, there's many. But one of the Othellos, the character of Cassio was very nonchalant and stuff, and he was a bit older. But once we realized that he was a bit younger, and I realized that he's a young soldier and surrounded by elders and surrounded by people who are already have been doing this for years, that he was just going with the flow without realizing it. He was one of those people who's like, he was a tragedy. He was a tragic character. He was thrown in there and he didn't know exactly what was going on around him. He doesn't know who's there to hurt him or who's his friend. So looking at it from the perspective of a young person, I realized that he was like, yeah, he was one of those people that were just like in the wrong place at the wrong time, kind of.
Yeah, and I guess for Bianca, prior to playing her, I always viewed her as someone who was very whiny and codependent, and I just didn't feel like she had any strength of her own. And kind of like looking at it through the lens of, myself, a Black woman, and yeah, just like figuring out what that means for me playing her. I think now she's like she's a badass. I'm gonna say it. She's a badass, and she's with this production, I feel like she's able to kind of lay down the law to Cassio and be like, hey, if you want me, awesome. If you don't, you need to pay up. So yeah.
I loved that choice when it came out in rehearsal, Chi-Chi. Come on. So good. So good. Inspired. Sarah, any more questions?
Yes, so I've got another one for Deborah Ann. So the question is, what is the redemptive feature or theme of Othello?
Oh, sorry, Deborah Ann, you're on mute.
There I go. Let me see. I don't know if it's so redemptive, but I did write one of the themes up, and of course I didn't have time to talk about it. So I'm thinking, let me pull my text really quickly, and then I'll know what I'm talking about. Come on, stop hiding. Got a lot of notes here. I was thinking that one of the fundamental and often universal ideas explored in Shakespeare's Othello is the incompatibility of military heroism and love. Before and above all else, Othello is a soldier. From the earliest moments in the play, his career affects his married life, asking fit disposition for his wife after being ordered to Cyprus. Othello notes that the tyrant custom have made the flinty and steel couch of war my thrice-driven bed of down, while Desdemona is used to better accommodation. Othello dedicates his success in love on his success as a soldier, wooing Desdemona with tales of his military travels and battles. Once Turks are drowned by natural rather than military might. Othello is left without anything to do. In the last act of the military administration, we see him perform is viewing of fortifications in the extremely short second act 3. No longer having meaning of proving his manhood or his honor in a public setting such as the court of a battlefield, Othello begins to feel uneasy with his footing in a private setting, the bedroom. Iago capitalizes on this uneasiness, calling Othello's epileptic fit in Act 4, Scene 1, a passion most unsuiting a man. In other words, Iago is calling Othello unsoldierly. Iago also takes care to mention that Cassio, whom Othello believes to be his competitor, saw him as in his emasculating trance. Desperate to cling to the security of his former identity as a soldier, while his current identity as a lover crumbles, Othello begins to confuse the one with the other. His expression of his jealousy quickly devolves from the conventional, farewell the tranquil mind, to be absurd. He starts saying, farewell the plumed troops and the big walls and that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell, farewell the neighing steed and the shrill trump, the spirit-fearing drum, the ear-piercing fife, the royal banner, and all quality, pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. Now, one might well say that Othello is saying farewell to the wrong things. He is entirely preoccupied with his identity as a soldier. But his way of thinking is somewhat justified by its seductiveness to the audience as well. Critics and audiences alike find comfort in the nobility in Othello's final speech and the antidote of the malignant and turbaned Turk, even though in that speech, as in the speech in Act 3, Scene 3, Othello depends on his identity as a soldier to glorify himself in the public's memory and to try to make his audience forget his and Desdemona's disastrous marital experiment. I think being a soldier is hard in general, like Dominic was saying. I think when you're trying to be a soldier in love, it creates a conflict in your body. There's one side of you that is a person who wants to protect and hurt and kill and defend. And there's the other side of you wanting that which you don't normally have in those situations, which is love, affection, a family, children. And when you want those things and you think Desdemona can provide those things, and then you learn that maybe she's messing up and maybe she's giving herself to someone else. Maybe your hopes and dreams of having a family is all gone now. Then you lose your damn mind, like Othello did. That's what I have to say.
Incredible, incredible. Thank you so much for that, Deborah. Just before we finish, I'd love to be able to throw over to the wonderful Janet Lawson. Thank you so much, Janet, for your help and support through the past 3 days. It's really meant the world to me, and it's been incredibly beneficial to the production and to our cast as well. Just want to talk briefly about those moments of action that are peppered throughout this play. A wonderful segue there from the military service to the military execution, if you like. So what was your thinking for the fights for this production?
My thought of going in, my first thought when I knew we were doing the play was, oh yeah, this is the one where he smothers his wife, and then discovered there was a hell of a lot more to it. And as we were taking it as a modern production, we were getting rid of all the swords and stuff, which was something that was quite good. It's a bit difficult to handle swords, you know, sort of in your bedroom or wherever you're filming. But my take on it, this is a barracks, and therefore there is that dysfunctional quality that goes with some military barracks, hazing, bullying, racism, difficulties in relationships. When you're going off on a mission, you don't want the problems of your wife, your family, when you're having to concentrate on what's coming up. Is your wife being faithful to you while you're on a 6-month tour of duty? So having things like daggers, guns became the sort of the basic method of all the woundings, the killings. Why they were happening, the motivation behind it was not my problem. My problem was how to make it work for the actors, how to get them to do it. And they did an extraordinary job. This is my first attempt at doing on Zoom, and suddenly discovering, okay, so this is how this person does it, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and then you do this, and then you fall down, and then you have to get your camera down here so you're filming. And then the guy who's killed you, this is his job, and then he's looking down. And it blew my mind actually trying to work this out. And there was one day when I actually had to sit and work out 3 or 4 fights like that, and then say, okay, then Cassio comes in and he does his bit, and then we transferred it over to Sarah, and then tonight is the first time I've actually seen it. I went, yes, they actually figured out what it was that I wanted them to do. So yes, to all my fighters, it was wonderful. And trying to and the little motivations that you have of each of the various characters of when Cassio kills somebody, he's perfectly happy to go and have a conversation afterwards. And, you know, and he's got his knife and almost said, show me the knife going in, show me the knife coming out. When you've got Cassio bottling Montano, and the bottle was beautiful. Thank you for the bottle. He then just goes, and he goes awful quiet, and you suddenly realize that in his drunkenness, what has he done? And it really is that oh shit moment of him going, really, really, really didn't mean to do that. And then working through the smothering, I was just going.
Same.
It was like, oh my God. And that whole last scene, I was just kind of going, okay, I know the next fight's coming up, and I know the next stabbing's coming up. And it was like, and we've got a screen with us giving chat going, yeah, this is really good. And I'm going to go, no, not looking at any of that. Just looking at, yeah, this is working. This is working, guys. This is working. And it's like when you're, and I could see your little comments just going, damn. And I'm going, yep. They're nailing that one, and they're nailing that one, and it was like, yay! It's been an extraordinary experience to me. So thank you very much for having me.
Oh, not at all, not at all. I hope we can get you back again. Very much so. Also, just say on that smothering. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that smothering. I feel like there's something unique about this, and we've talked about it more so in terms of like soliloquies so far, the proximity to the camera and the proximity, therefore, of the audience to what's happening. And I feel like in a way the audience has never been closer to that happening because they're right in the middle of it in this medium. And it's amazing that after 26 weeks, something like that can still come along and move you in a different and unique way. Yeah, really amazing. So thank you so much for that. It was so beautifully executed and choreographed.
And thank you guys. Thank you very much.
I just want to, I need to throw a quick shout out as well to the other first that was innovation of the week, I'm sure, in the bingo card, which was the magic blood, the actual bleeding of Iago.
It was his Tony Stark bleeding, I think I thought of it as.
Yes, yeah. That shrapnel blast, yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna give away my secrets.
No, absolutely no.
Iago never speaks another word.
Exactly. Not even in the Q&A. Alex, apologies, you had your hand up.
I've just got a bit of a funny story regarding one of the fights tonight. The smack. 3 nights I have been suffocating myself in my living room. I have a neighbour above, a neighbour below, and neighbours either side. I have been screaming for 3 days. The night we actually do it, and I just get the one smack upstairs comes charging down. Boom, 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 boom. Are you okay? Oh God, I'm gonna call the police. I'm trying to keep going with the scene. I'm thinking they're gonna hear this on the stream. They're gonna hear her screaming. I'm thinking they're gonna call the police. They're gonna smash the door down midstream. I finished the scene, turned the camera off and the microphone off, and I dashed outside, and by this time she'd gone back upstairs in her flat. I'm thinking, oh God, she's going to call the police. So I'm like, boom, 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 boom on her door. She comes back down and went, it's fine, I'm just acting.
You know what's jokes? I actually heard that knock as well, and I was like, is that
you
me?
know?
Oh, wow, okay. My bad. I'll turn that down. Sorry, my bad.
That's one for our audience tomorrow. Go back and rewatch the stream, see if you can hear that knock.
Good. Are you okay? Oh dear. But that's a
tremendous.
ill for making it look and feel as real as it did. So thank you very, very much, Janet.
Absolutely. And that, one and all, is all we have time for this evening. We've in fact gone somewhat over time, but these discussions have all been so fascinating that I didn't want to put a stop to them. Very quickly, Deborah Ann, I believe there might be a way for us to see your Othello online. Is that correct? Sorry, still on mute. Still on mute, sorry.
I'm always on mute. I was saying that I'll put it in the chat. And
fantastic.
Yes, it's September 21st, National Arts Club online at Facebook.
Amazing, amazing. Looking forward to it already. Fabulous. Thank you so much. And that's all we have time for now. So good night to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we have All's Well That Ends Well, which is a wonderful example of the theme that Deborah Ann so rightfully brought to light in Othello, which is the incompatibility of soldiership and love. We're going to be delving into that even more so next week in All's Well That Ends Well. Another one of the problem plays, so looking forward to wrestling with that problem. Hope to see you there. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the Patreon to tip your actors if you so wish, or otherwise go and buy some merchandise from our Redbubble store, details for all of which are in the description. Thank you so much and good night.